to be following a Hollywood script. After a dramatic extra-inning walk-off home run by Chris Taylor on Tuesday, the Wednesday encore featured a huge Yasiel Puig pinch hit home run and bat flip that helped sweep away a Rockies team that was eyeing the division for themselves. Things may look good for LA with a 2.5-game lead in the division, but there's more baseball ahead, and the Padres are here to try and make things difficult. Eric Lauer starts a weekend series that will feature a trio of Padre rookie starters, hoping to derail the division party in Los Angeles. Don't start the celebration kisses quite yet. It's time to beat LA next. Going to be a fun weekend here at Dodger Stadium. Weather report brought to you by your always sunny Honda dealers of San Diego County. An absolutely beautiful night here in Los Angeles. And it's getting dark. You know, you're late in the season, Mark Sweeney, when there isn't a lot of sunlight around first pitch. With Mark Sweeney and Bob Scanlon, I'm Jesse Agler. Andy Green all smiles as this one gets ready to go. I think he's excited to see what his young club looks like this weekend against the Dodgers. Padre lineup brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. All the talk about Franmil Reyes. He will bat second here in the top of the first inning. Hosmer also scheduled to bat with Renfroe, Mejia, Spangenberg, Galvis, Margot, and the pitcher Eric Lauer rounding it out in Chavez Ravine. Ross Stripling on the mound for the Dodgers, making his 4th appearance back from the disabled list, his 3rd start. Training wheels are not all the way off yet in terms of a pitch count. He's had a couple of trips to the DL this year, the most recent one for a back injury. But they have big expectations for a guy who was an all-star for the first time this year. And we're underway with a foul ball out of play from the Padre leadoff man, Will Myers. Dodgers scouting report is brought to you by Nissan.
The 28-year-old right-hander out of Texas A&M falls in love with his curveball. You're going to see a lot of them. Fastball up, curveball down, and it's been a breakout year. 2018 All-Star for Ross Stripling.
8-4 with a 2.77 ERA. Like you said, he's got the curveball that everybody talks about. There's a slider, cutter, whatever you want to call it, that can get sneaky as well. And this is a guy we've seen enough of already, I think, this year from a Padre perspective. He has had good success against San Diego here in 2018. 4 starts, a relief appearance, and no ERA. Myers out in front, and now a ball and 2 strikes. He's allowed 1 unearned run in 17 2/3 against San Diego this season.
Well, mid-90s fastball there. You're probably going to see more fastballs early in this game, and the reason for it, he's still trying to build that stamina like you talked about, Jesse. Pretty important when he gets in that 2-strike mode. He loves throwing the curveball.
Dodgers and Padres both shuffling their rotations around a little bit for this weekend series. Different reasons why, of course. And Myers hits it hard, but right to Justin Turner at third base, and 1 away here in the top of the first.
Here's the Dodgers defense brought to you by your San Diego Cadillac dealers. And from third to first, Justin Turner, Manny Machado, Brian Dozier, and David Freese in the infield. From left to right, Matt Kemp, Kike Hernandez, and Yasiel Puig, the hottest hitter in right field. Yasmani Grandal catching Ross Stripling.
So from their hottest hitter to the Padres' hottest hitter, that's right fielder Franmil Reyes. He's got an 11-game hitting streak right now. No Padre this year has had a 12-game hitting streak. It has not been the year of the hitting streak. He's also hit in 24 out of his last 26, and he has brought the batting average all the way up to 284. Really a remarkable run for the rookie right-handed hitter.
He's been very patient. You're also seeing that shorter swing, which can help him with 2 strikes.
Hunter Renfroe, Christian Villanueva, the other 2 Padres who have 11-game hitting streaks this year. And a few opportunities to try and break that mark this evening for Reyes, and he's quickly behind 0-2. Remember your longest hitting streak?
I do not, because you know, honestly, I didn't have many starts consecutively to feel like I could get one of those hot stretches.
Take a look at the Kia Drive to Success. And when we say Franmil Reyes has been about as hot as anybody in baseball, we're not exaggerating. Last 30 days, you go back to August 21st, only possible National League MVP Christian Yelich has a higher OPS. Justin Turner hanging around as well. Reaches for that one. It'll be fielded by the pitcher. And Stripling with a couple of quick outs in the top half of inning number 1. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, the Los Angeles Dodgers came off a very emotional sweep against the Colorado Rockies. That being said, this is a tough matchup, especially emotionally. And you think about Eric Lauer, he's pitched very well against the Dodgers. One was in Monterrey, Mexico, the other one at Petco Park. This is a different challenge, so hopefully Eric Lauer can meet that.
Dodgers swept the Rockies 3 straight. They had trailed Colorado by a half a game, now lead by 2.5. Rockies facing Zach Greinke and the Diamondbacks tonight in Phoenix, as Eric Hosmer takes strike 1 from Stripling. And the Dodgers this year at home against the National League West, 21-13. Their collective ERA in those games, Mark, is 2.36.
Yeah, they do it with pitching, and that's really what it's been. Last year they had more collective offense and more star years when it came to having those hot stretches. Now, this is a different offensive club. They do it with the home run. They lead the National League, but also 147 of the 218 have been solo shots. That's why it's been difficult for this offense.
Just talking about Franmil Reyes, he's sitting there saying, tell me about it. Bunch of his home runs at the start came, it seemed like, with nobody on base. That has corrected itself a bit as of late. But he had that weird looking homer RBI total. 0-2 on Hosmer is in the dirt, as Eric tries to get a 2-out rally going for the Padres here against Ross Stripling. Right-hander's last win came at Petco Park, 6 shutout innings on July 12th. Has been on the DL twice since then. A toe injury cost him 10 days at the end of July, beginning of August, and then mid-August through the beginning of September, a back injury. Dodger pitching staff is so different now than it was at the beginning of the year. Injury, of course, a huge part of that. Strikes out Hosmer in a 1-2-3 first inning for the 28-year-old out of Texas A&M. Dodgers coming up against the lefty. The 23-year-old left-hander Eric Lauer making his 3rd start of the year against the Dodgers, but his first here in Los Angeles. He's faced off against these guys, let's see, at Petco Park and at Estadio de Baseball Monterrey down in Mexico. And now an opportunity to do it under the bright lights of the big city. Dodger lineup will begin with Kike Hernandez, only the 3rd time this year that their Swiss Army knife is leading off. Turner and Machado to follow, with David Freese, Matt Kemp, Yasiel Puig in the middle. Grandal, Dozier, and Stripling round out the starting 9 for Dave Roberts' Dodgers. And just because you see those 9 names now against Eric Lauer, do not expect to see all of them at the end of the game. Dodgers right now are rolling with a 39-man roster. They have 11 players available off the bench tonight. The Padres, by comparison, have 5.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of the 40-man roster and also the new September rules where you can open it up. And this is an audition for that playoff roster.
There are no seats down there. Have you noticed? They're all. There's no place to sit in the Dodger dugout. Does that become a seniority thing in September?
It
like
sure
Kershaw
does.
goes wherever he wants and everybody has to follow suit?
That's a loaded up roster.
Looks like the first couple innings of a spring training game. Borderline pitch does not go Lauer's way, and now 3-0 on Kike. Hernandez hitting .237 this year, one of 7 Dodgers with 20 home runs on the season. That ties the Major League record. No National League team had ever done it before. That does not include the couple of guys who are up and around and above that number who came over from the AL, Dozier and Machado. Because the stats officially and technically reset still when you switch leagues. Like you said, they're not necessarily having that big year that like a Bellinger had in 2017, but they're getting plenty of production from more than enough guys. Lauer has fought back, filled the count, and a ground ball over him, but handled nicely by Corey Spangenberg at second base. Some slick defense, and one away in the bottom of the first.
Take a look at the scouting report for Eric Lauer, and he has a love-hate relationship with these Dodgers. Obviously, he loves facing them. He's 2-0 with a .61 ERA. But he hates them because he's in that division. And success with a curveball, much like Ross Stripling. It's a different curveball, but he has to have success with that pitch. This Dodger offense is known for attacking the fastball.
Last time the Padres and the Dodgers played a night game here in Los Angeles, we had a power outage in the 12th inning, and when the lights came back on, Justin Turner was winning the game, a little bloop double down the right field line. See what he can do here under more conventional circumstances. Just underway, bottom of the first inning in LA. First game of a 3-game series as the Padres open up their final road trip of 2018. 3 here, 3 in San Francisco, and then wrap up the regular season next weekend at home against the Diamondbacks. And for Andy Green's guys, that is all she wrote in 2018. That is a fair ball down the line. Myers couldn't get there. Friendly ricochet for Renfroe, but no chance to throw Turner out. And another double for Justin Turner.
Pretty close down the line. I was pretty surprised. You see Justin Turner on this curveball. Fights to stay inside that. You can see that big leg kick, gets his foot down early. Sees that very nicely, and that went over that left corner of third base.
In case you're wondering, not reviewable. The aforementioned Manny Machado. Those are the combined numbers between Baltimore and LA, and of course, he'll be one of the big ticket items in free agency this winter. One of the most talented players in all of baseball. That's with Turner in scoring position here in the first inning. 11 of the 35 home runs for Machado have come in a Dodger uniform, and a couple of them against the Padres. Homered in each of the first 2 games that these teams played against one another last month here in LA.
Well, Jesse, only hitting .264 in a Dodger uniform. It's been very sporadic offense for Manny Machado. But he has the ability to carry a club.
That's the thing. You talk about the depth for the Dodgers. If a guy is cold, it doesn't really give you any comfort if you're facing them because, one, they all have such resumes, it seems, where you expect them to get hot at some point. And if a guy doesn't heat up, well, next man up. Yeah,
I think there's only 3 constants in Dave Roberts' lineup, and I think it has to be Justin Turner if he's healthy, but also Manny Machado and Bellinger. Those are really the only guys that have a say in if they're in the lineup every single day.
Corey Seager out for the year with the elbow. No big deal. Just go out and get the other best shortstop in baseball.
Yeah, and you know what was amazing about that move is that everyone in baseball realized they had to go out and do it. This team was built to win from day one. And realizing you can go out and get probably the best shortstop, all-around shortstop in the game of baseball, That's pretty impressive.
Lauer in front of him, a ball in, 2 strikes. And off the handle of Myers. Will makes the play look easy, and that's the middle out here in the first inning.
Here's the Padre defense brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. At third base, Will Myers and Freddie Galvis on the left side. Corey Spangenberg gets a start at second base, and Eric Hosmer at first. From left to right, Hunter Renfro, Manuel Margot, and Franmil Reyes. Francisco Mejia gets the start behind the plate for Eric Lauer.
Freddie Galvis, the only guy in baseball to have started every game this year. And he has. Talking about Dozier and Machado. If you missed it, if you blinked at the end of August, they also picked up this guy. Freese takes a good breaking ball, and strike 1 from Lauer. It was an August 31st acquisition from the Padre minor leaguer. Now 35 years old. Padres drafted him in the 9th round back in 2006. Went to the Cardinals in the Jim Edmonds trade the next year. He went on to do some decent things in the postseason for St. Louis. Might sound like a stupid question, but you got to figure, right, that was in at least the back of the Dodgers front office minds when they went after him and targeted him.
Yeah, you think about it, Jesse, that this team was built as a team that can win with their starters, but they also realize that there's a lot of manipulating of the lineup, and that is so important for them to be very versatile. Dave Roberts understands that's important, but also you have the ability to go out there and win games off the bench, and you have matchups that cause problems for the opposition. That's the game of baseball now, but you think about the Dodgers, they have the ability to go out there and pay for that type of roster.
Lauer trying to work around the 1-out double by Turner. Now 2-2. Yeah, that dugout. Nice play by Mejia. It's like a Pez dispenser over there for Dave Roberts. You lift up the little head and the next guy comes out, and it seems like the next guy is at least as good, if not better, than the next.
Yeah, and that can cause some problems. Obviously, you have to have a lot of communication because there's a lot of guys on that bench that expect to play, and they're not on a nightly basis. So Dave Roberts and the organization have to have those talks.
Swing and a miss, and Lauer does work around the double. He strikes out Freese, and the first inning comes to a close. No score in LA. Dealers. See your San Diego Cadillac dealers or visit Cadillac SDN8LAN.com. Scoreless game in the second inning at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Eric Lauer, nice first inning, struck out David Freese. And threw a first pitch strike to 3 out of the first 4 guys that he saw. Ross Stripling, first pitch strike to everybody in the first. He put the Padres down in order. And now Hunter Renfroe, who's had some nice numbers at Dodger Stadium, will lead off here in the second inning. Hunter, 23 home runs on the season to lead the team, and now a career .302 hitter here in the Ravine. 3 home runs at Dodger Stadium. Talked about the good numbers for both Ross Stripling and Eric Lauer against these teams as a hitter. A, do you remember that? B, do you even think about it? C, do you try and change your approach? What are you trying to do?
Well, the best part of September baseball is that you have a basis of how they attack you, especially if you have experience against these guys. But you also have an understanding of Ross Stripling is going to try to have to be aggressive. So that might change your philosophy if you're a Padre hitter. Seen early strikes, so you can pick out a pitch. Obviously, against the Padres, Ross Stripling feels comfortable and has been a lot to do with that very good curveball. Different shapes to that as well. He can land it, but he can also spin another one that's a little bit tighter.
If you like curveballs, don't go away, because tomorrow we'll throw Rich Hill out there for the Dodgers. No Kershaw this weekend. They certainly have a couple of guys who can spin it. Mentioned both these teams shuffling their rotations for this weekend series. Andy Green wanted the Padres rookies to get a feel for this and the big-time environment. The Dodgers not necessarily saying why they moved some things around, but there are theories out there, and that's a well-placed Brian Dozier. And a nice little scoop at first base for Freese. Renfroe, a victim of the shift, and 1 out in the top of the second inning. But yeah, LA originally was going with Hill today, Stripling tomorrow. They flip-flopped that, and one of the theories floating around the Dodger Stadium press box tonight was that they are already thinking about the Atlanta Braves and a possible division series matchup with them, and trying to line up in a way that best suits them to face the Braves.
Yeah, for Dave Roberts in the organization, trying to set up who is going to be their number 4 or 5 pitcher that they can use. And number 5 is really that hybrid guy that you can use in the middle of a game. A lot of people need to understand Ross Stripling has the ability, even though he was an all-star this year because of his starts, that he has the ability to go into the bullpen, and he's a strike thrower. And that curveball plays no matter what and give different looks.
Every postseason we are reminded of the importance of long relief, whether it's a guy who's a starter or one of those Andrew Miller types. Always end up to find themselves in the middle of things. Francisco Mejia. Fun first homestand in a Padre uniform. Walk-off grand slam, no big deal. He has hit in all 7 of his starts. Grandal wants the high fastball, and Mejia muscles it back out of play. Still 0-2. We've seen him now for a couple of weeks. I guess the thing that stands out to me, Mark, he does not swing the bat or get results like a guy who looks like that. I mean, his swing is bigger than he is. His results are bigger than he is. It's very impressive.
Yeah, the power, the bat speed comes out, but also the ability to be aggressive and still have bat-to-ball skills.
Strikes out here as Grandal applies the tag. 2 away in the second, and now 2 strikeouts for Ross Stripling.
MLB At Bat is your #1 app to watch live Padres baseball. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Padres home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Corey Spangenberg's been getting some regular playing time as of late. He's at second base tonight, kind of bouncing back and forth between second and third. Nice night Wednesday night. 2 for 4, RBI single, and a double against the Giants, as the Padres snapped a little bit of a skid against San Francisco. 2 teams will meet up head-to-head again Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night at AT&T Park.
Perfect location on that fastball. Ross Stripling will tempt you with that command off the plate. It looks like a strike out of the hands. I think he's taken it to another level because he knows when he has to land it and when he has to throw that curveball out of the strike zone.
Nasty there. Good change up to Spangenberg, and now 1-2.
You see the arm speed on the changeup. You see the grip. Starts as a strike and works off the plate.
Ahead of Corey, and now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned Stripling pitched collegiately at Texas A&M. Same rotation as Michael Wacha. They were together with the Aggies, and sorry to the Aztec fans out there, he no-hit San Diego State back in 2012. That one gets underneath of his glove, but again, the Dodger infield well positioned. Turner's throw, though, is off the mark, and Spangenberg reaches. It'll be an error, sorry, on Justin Turner.
Interesting play for Justin Turner in the shift. Now you think about Justin Turner, he's played second base before, so that's not odd being on the right side of the diamond. But he took his time fielding this and realized that Corey Spangenberg gets down the line so quickly. And the swipe tag just misses the number on Spangenberg's back.
That's a great look at it. So Turner charged with the error. And we'll see if the Padres can take advantage of it. Corey's certainly capable of stealing a bag if they want to put something in motion here with Freddie Galvis at the plate. Nice couple of days for Freddie against the San Francisco Giants. What is he, 6 for his or 7 for his last 13? Big 2-run homer Wednesday night. 3 doubles in the 3-game series against San Francisco. Pretty well struck out towards right center field. Hernandez on the run, and he makes a diving catch. Kike Hernandez pretty much does it all. And that time he lays out in right center field to take extra bases away from Freddie Galvis and to take a lead away from the Padres. Big time defense in the Dodger Stadium outfield.
Going to be a big situation, big game in Dodger Stadium, and it'll just be fun to get that experience under my belt. I think it'll definitely add some adrenaline, and it won't be a friendly environment, so it'll be a little different, but it'll be a new experience and something to feed off of.
That's Eric Lauer talking about the experience of pitching here at Dodger Stadium against the team's biggest rival in a playoff situation for the Dodgers. He's looking forward to the opportunity. He knows he's going to get something out of it. He's prepared for the energy that's going to be here. Two things that are working in his favor, guys. First of all, he's working with a catcher that's caught him before. Remember, Francisco Mejia caught him for the first time in the big leagues in Mejia's opening day start for the Padres. Now he's getting a chance to work with Lauer. He's had some experience with him. But the other thing is Lauer's been working on his slider. He's trying to add a little bit more depth to it, a little bit more contrast between the curveball and the slider. We saw that in the first inning. That pitch that he struck Freeze out was one of those new sliders that he's been working on. So some things working in his favor, guys.
Bob, thank you very much. And in front of Kemp, a ball and 2 strikes as Matt leads off here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Puig and Grandal to follow. Kemp a little tapper, and Lauer nonchalants it. Nicely done, young man. 1 away.
Yeah, Eric Lauer sporting a nice fresh haircut too. Happy haircut to Eric Lauer.
And to you, Mark Sweeney.
Thank you very much.
Here's Yasiel Puig Wednesday night against the Dodgers. Game was tied, and then it wasn't. I don't know if the home run or the bat flip was more impressive, but it was a big one. Pinch hit, 3-run shot. They beat the Rockies 5-2. There was a curtain call. There was a sweep. And the Dodgers now a season-high 2.5 games up in the National League West.
Well, Yasiel Puig does it with flair, whether you like it or not. He's going to do it a different way.
Big swing here, maybe that same swing, but he fouls it back. 0-1. Interesting week for Puig. Not only did he have the big home run on Wednesday, but Tuesday he left during the game. His home, apparently, while he was here, had been burglarized. Had to deal with that, and thankfully nothing too serious came of it. He was joking about it the next day.
You know what's strange about that? That's the 4th time his house has been broken into. The 4th. I think it's time to maybe invest in a security system, maybe. Just saying.
What's your code?
Well, obviously they know it.
Puig's got some serious reverse splits in terms of facing lefties and righties. He had not started the last 7 Dodger games against a left-handed starter, but that changes tonight here against Eric Lauer.
And because of that, Jesse, I think they're going to crowd him. And the reason why, he likes to get extended. He has that power where he can go out and get that ball off the plate.
On 0-2, he takes just a little bit low inside. You can see the big gap out in left center field.
And that tells me they'll pitch him away when they can, but also try to make him aware of that pitch. I think that's what you have to do the first game he plays. You have to focus on that ball off the plate. Make him uncomfortable. Even move his feet.
6 home runs his last 5 games. He's been comfortable. He's also hitting .500, I think, in that time. Generally a good batting average. Perfect, and strike 3 called. Puig knew it. He's shaking his head. He's walking back to the dugout. And the 2nd of the night for Eric Lauer.
That looked like another cutter, and you can see with that slider cutter action, that's what Bob talked about. Probably trying to throw a little bit more of those. Perfect pitch on the top of the zone. He's had success up there tonight.
It's a game recognized game as he walks away. That's what they call that. Grandal takes good looking, but ruled the ball 1-0. Switch hitter from the right side. Dodgers do not have a single left-handed bat in the lineup tonight, but they got a few on the bench if you need. And now 1-1. Muncy, Utley, Peterson, Bellinger, Tolles, and Verdugo all available. Those are the left-handed bats.
It's an all-star team.
Yeah, Muncy for much of this year was their best player. Bellinger last year was their best player. Peterson's been much improved this season, and on it goes. Two teams got together here at Dodger Stadium about a month ago. That was Players Weekend, you might remember. Lauer did not pitch in that series. Grandal, meanwhile, was 1 for 7. Earns himself a 2-out walk here. A couple of close pitches that didn't go Eric's way. That's the first walk of the night. And a 2-out base runner with the number 8 hitter coming up.
Second baseman, number 6, Brian Dozier.
Dozier playing in his 43rd game as a Dodger after coming over from Minnesota. Hitting only 189 as a Dodger this year. Another one of these guys, I mean, you can't feel comfortable facing him even with a cold streak going on.
Well, because they have that resume, which I think is very important. And that's the reason why I think the Dodgers have brought over some of these guys, talent. Dozier may be at the tail end of that dominating career he put together in Minnesota.
31 years old now. Led the Twins in homers each of the last 5 years. Top 10 in the American League in home runs each of the last 2 years.
And you know what? The Dodgers been enamored by Brian Dozier for years. You hear him on those rumors every single year. Well, this year they get him.
Lauer's really dotting that fastball away. And now in front, 1-2.
Eric Lauer can benefit from the intensity that this place brings. And you heard him talk about it. But it's also, you got to go out there and feel that energy. And that, from players, they can add on a couple ticks on their fastball.
Dodgers leading the baseball world in attendance again this year, and another big crowd here tonight. They've got post-game fireworks. But it's not necessarily the loudest environment in all of baseball. It's not a criticism. I'm not taking a shot, but I think it's pretty well documented. There's a lot of people here, but they're not necessarily making the most noise.
Yeah, being in a Dodger uniform before, it's a late arriving crowd typically. So you're getting into that game, but they understand the anticipation of this team, especially coming off a big series against the Rockies. They understand how important this game is moving forward.
Strikeout there will end this inning. Couple of men stranded in the first couple of innings for Eric Lauer, who has struck out 3.
kind of just regret I only had 3 short years with him, and probably this last year he battled so many health things. It was tough to get any time with him, but story after story after story comes from people who have been impacted by him and loved by him and taught by him, and the limited time I got, I'll always treasure and value.
That's Andy Green talking about the loss of Don Welke, the Vice President of Scouting Operations for the Padres. He passed at the age of 75, 50 years in the game of baseball. He joined the Padres in 2014 when A.J. Preller came over. He was the mentor for A.J. Preller. And guys, I think you'd agree with me, not enough time that we got to spend with Don. What an incredible baseball man. What amazed me so much was the Rolodex of players that he had in his mind that he could access at any moment. That and his love for the game and his love for people who are involved in the game. Great wit, great man. He's certainly going to be missed.
Oh, Bob, no doubt about that. He was one of those presences, Mark. He walked into a room or you walked out to the field and he was there. And I know for me, you just smiled right away because you knew you were about to have a fun conversation.
Yeah, known as coach, and I think everyone realized that this was a baseball lifer that had passion beyond trying to pick the best talented player out there. He wanted a good person. He wanted a specific guy.
Largo shoots that one towards center, and a little bit easier than last time for Kike Hernandez, who makes the catch.
But always had time for others, and I think that's what I will remember Don Welke as. A guy that has a huge resume on what he meant to the game of baseball, but he knew that it wasn't a job for him. It was so much fun, and that's the reason why A.J. Preller and everyone else around him was better in baseball, because they learned so much from Don Welke. We're going to miss him.
No doubt about that. You know what I'll always remember? Stickers.
Yep.
Because if you were talking to Don and a little kid went by, your conversation was temporarily over, and he always had a roll of stickers they could give to little kids. And little kids, as you know, they love stickers.
They do.
They go bananas for stickers. I can't explain it. I've come to learn that the last couple of years. And Coach always had stickers for any kid that would pass by. Best certainly to Don's family, his baseball family as well, which is extended beyond San Diego in a very big way. Worked here with the Dodgers, the Rangers, long time with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Don put his fingerprint on the game of baseball, and that is something that I think anyone would love to have conversations with a great coach.
I miss you, Don. Eric Lauer now behind a ball and 2 strikes. Padres looking for their first hit against Ross Stripling here in the top of the 3rd inning. Dodgers starting pitching against the Padres this year, 10-1 with a 2.17 ERA. Not a great mystery to unlock in terms of their success against the Padres this season. And Stripling has certainly done his part. 2-2 to Lauer, swung on and missed. That's his 3rd strikeout. And now 2nd time through the batting order against the right-hander. Time now for the AARP take on Will Myers versus Ross Stripling. Will with 4 hits, equating to a .364 average, a couple of extra base hits. So if he's got 4 hits, I can't do that math. I was going to try
4
and
for 11.
4. Okay, thank you. 4 for 10 I could have done.
Yeah, 4 for 10's it's right up there.
Myers strokes it into left field, and that will be the first Padre hit of the night. And playing out, but clearly playing it on a hop.
5 for 12.
Which is?
I don't know.
Come on. Everybody knows that's 417.
You think I'm Rain Man?
He's in the radio booth tonight.
Well, you can see the cutting action on that fastball, but it actually backs up off the end of the bat from Will Myers, but had some top spin. Matt Kemp's lucky that he kept that in front. Stuck the landing though.
French judge gives him a 10. Franmil Reyes 0 for 1. He tapped back to Stripling his first time. .410 average in the 11-game hitting streak. And the nice thing certainly for Franmil and the Padres is the hot bat started before these 11 games. It's been a continuous thing for about a month now.
Yeah, he's had 2 stretches where 11-game hit streaks. Only 1 game where he didn't have any hits, and that was the middle game. Hopefully he can extend it with 12. You know what's been good about Franmil is he's handled the strike zone so much better, more consistent. Will he get out of the strike zone once in a while? Yes. But he locks right back in. And those are the adjustments that you see along with the shorter swing.
I think perhaps connected to that, he really seems to use the middle of the field very well. A lot of hits, it seems like, night after night for him, into center.
And I think he realized too at his first audition up here at the big league level, he was getting beat by the fastball, and he had to make that adjustment. Almost looked like at times that he couldn't fire on a very good fastball, mid-90s. He's handling velocity now much better.
Last time we were here, the back of Franmil's jersey said La Mole, the Beast. Players Weekend with the nicknames.
What do you think of Players Weekend? You like it?
Yeah, I do. I think it's fun. These guys like it. I think it's something, break up the season a little bit for them. I like the nickname thing. It's fun to kind of dive into it. Myers picked off here and hung up between first and second. And that will end the top half of inning number 3. Padres get their first hit of the night against Ross Stripling. But that's it.
Do you think about what Eric Lauer has to do against these Dodgers and why his repertoire favors it? Because you see that cutter, 4-seam fastball, and it's elevated at the top of the zone, even exposing Matt Kemp, who was very hot in the first half. But he has to have that ability to pitch at the top of the zone and change eye levels, even north and south.
Kemp hitting a lot less in the second half, but still a dangerous guy. Stripling trying to bunt his way aboard. Solid idea. Unable to execute it, now behind in the count, 0-2. Stripling is just 2 for 31 at the plate this year. That's 065, by the way.
I love that.
0-2 to the opposing pitcher. That's right there. And now 4 strikeouts for Eric Lauer.
Well, as we touched on tools of the trade, I think Eric Lauer has the ability to pitch at the top of the zone, varying his pitch repertoire, and you're seeing it tonight. 92 at the top, 94, but varying velocities and also that improved slider, having the ability to even freeze Yasiel Puig, one of the hottest hitters. And his usage of the fastball has been a lot. 79%. It's tops in baseball.
Big looping curveball this time, and a strike to Kike Hernandez. That one is well struck, a laser, and gone. 1-0 LA here in the third. First of the season for Kike Hernandez. Gotta be the shoes.
Kike Hernandez is in there because he handles left-handed pitching so well, making those adjustments and firing on that fastball in. Wasn't elevated enough. And again, the Dodgers have another one of those solo home run varieties. 148 on the year out of 219 homers.
Another dangerous hitter now with Justin Turner up. All smiles for Kike, who's already set career highs in hits and homers and runs batted in here in 2018. 397 on the distance, and it was a quick flight. Turner is the other Dodger hit. That was a double his first time. This time floats it into right field, and Franmil makes the play, 2 away. Pitch count fine for Eric Lauer so far. It's been a little bit of a source of conversation since he returned from the DL. He had a couple of, I think, inefficient outings would be a fair way to put it. But Saturday against the Rangers, 5+, he threw 81 pitches. They were a lot happier, I think, with the pitch count that game.
Yeah, I think they want to extend him tonight if they get in a situation where they can do that. And for Eric Lauer, being able to have those tests is pretty important moving forward for the young left-hander.
There's no reason to coddle this guy at this point, and I don't think Andy Green has any intention of doing that. Quite the opposite. Which again is why he is where he is here tonight.
Well, I think a lot of fans might be frustrated at that whole process, but listen, the Tommy John surgery, the elbow surgery, has indicated how organizations go out there and handle young pitchers. I think the Padres have done a nice job, maybe backing off a little bit. Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, understands it's long-term for a lot of these pitchers.
Seven and 7 for Manny Machado, who grounded to third base his first time tonight. 2-1 from Lauer is foul, and now 2-2 from the young left-hander. Lauer making his 22nd start of the season. Lucchesi also up over 20 starts this year. First time the Padres have had rookie starters do that since 1977. Payoff pitch to Machado, and a little number should end the inning. Nicely done by Lauer, and that will close the third, but Kike Hernandez puts LA on top. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. And right now, there's a lot to see at your Hyundai dealer. That swing from Kike Hernandez put the Dodgers on top 1-0. The only run of the night so far. He's also made what was probably a run-saving catch out in center field in the second inning. Franmil Reyes to lead off here in the fourth. He got that big looping curveball and unable to do anything with it. 0-1. Reyes at the plate when Myers was technically and officially caught stealing to end the top of the third inning, and that'll be the first time this year Myers has been caught stealing. He had been a perfect 10 for 10. Big swing from Reyes, and now 1-2. You mentioned when he was up last inning, Mark, about his troubles with velocity prior to get sending back down to AAA El Paso. I think a lot of us figure like that's a thing you can either do or you can't, but obviously not the case. What are some of the ways a hitter can figure out how to better handle a big fastball?
Well, first off, you have to start a little bit sooner and get it going, because it almost seemed like he was ready for a breaking ball too many times. In this day and age, Jesse, you know there's velocity in the game of baseball, especially when you get into the bullpens of the Major League Baseball clubs. So you're seeing guys that are pitching, triple digits now that are in these bullpens. So you've got to get it started, but also you have to shorten your swing. Let them supply the power. And I think he's done a very good job at that, because there's times where you start your swing behind you a little bit, and that's what it looked like, and it's a longer swing, and the barrel works underneath the baseball, especially with guys with velocity.
It's a young guy, turned 23 back in July. He's just getting better and better and better. Good battle here against Ross Stripling. Payoff pitch to Reyes is tapped foul. I think one of the reasons he's been able to adapt and adjust and really get better as much as he had. Andy Green said today he's just a smart guy. And that helps. I mean, he's an intelligent hitter. He's receptive to everything you got to say. And you can get through to him. Another 3-2 to Reyes, and that one is stung into center field, and that is the longest hitting streak by a Padre this season. An even dozen for Franmil Reyes.
A perfect example of the adjustments right there in front of us, because he fouls off the breaking ball, gets a heavy dose of breaking balls, but then he gets a fastball out over the plate, and that short, quick stroke is drilled into center field. That's what you fall in love with, the adjustments that Franmil Reyes has made in the game.
So Reyes continues to swing a great bat. A lead single here in the fourth as the Padres look to rally, trailing 1-0 against Ross Stripling and the Dodgers. Here's Hosmer. Eric struck out his first time, takes strike one this time. Five hits in his last five. Hosmer hit in each of the last two against the Giants, and that is a foul ball. Foul ball. They're excited, but it's a foul ball. Freeze, the first baseman, clearly reaching over the line into foul territory to field that ground ball.
You see Freeze guarding that line, and typically when you don't have a lot of starts over there, you're not going to try to extend yourself off the bag. Defensively protecting that line. See Kike Hernandez really swung over in that left center gap.
You've watched any of the Padres this year, that shouldn't surprise you. Hosmer goes the other way regularly. Strikes out for the second time this evening right here, and that's the first out in the fourth.
Jesse, exciting times, and you think about the fights. The fight for the NL East continues on Fox as the Phillies take on Freddie Freeman and the division-leading Braves, where the Cardinals continue their playoff push against the Giants. Regional action starts tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Pacific on Fox, Fox Sports Deportes, and Fox Sports app.
Hunter Renfroe, a victim of the shift, his first time up. 51st pitch of the night from Stripling, and he gets the top of the zone with that breaking ball. 0-1. In his career against the Dodgers, Renfroe's average up to .307. He's got 6 homers in 26 games against LA. You never hate to see that at one of your middle of the order guys against a team like this. Mark talked earlier about Stripling's ability to work out of the bullpen and as a starter. That's not just this year. Last season, 2 starts, 47 relief appearances. This year, 20 starts now, 12 relief appearances. He is clearly comfortable in either role. Renfroe trying to hold up, and he did. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's not something, as we've learned and seen, that every guy can handle.
That was close. But Jesse, you think about the Dodgers, and they're not afraid to put that on a starter. Go out there in the bullpen and pitch those important innings. Dave Roberts understands that's the success. Last year, only 1 game away from a world championship against the Houston Astros.
Lays off again, and now full count, 3-2. Reyes not running, and Renfroe launches a missile down the left field line. That is fair and gone. A 2-run homer, and the Padres are in front 2-1. Team leading 24th of the season for Renfroe, and boy, both home runs here tonight have gotten out in a flash.
This is an absolute missile off Hunter Renfroe's bat. You can see the cutting action, but that cutter has been a lot of mistakes for Ross Stripling, and this mistake leaves left field in a hurry. Heads up down there down the line. That was coming in hot.
Another guy that can leave the building in a hurry, Francisco Mejia. .368 feet. Came off the bat at 110 miles per hour. Not a lot of launch angle on that one for Renfroe.
No, those were through the seats.
I got 20 degrees on the launch angle. So you can put that into your launch angle exit velocity distance calculator.
You know what that means to me? He meant he stayed back and he cut it in half and he drilled it straight down the line. I got your launch angle.
Mejia behind in the count and able to lay off that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I had a hitting coach in St. Louis, George Hendricks. Remember him? Big,
Yeah.
tall, lanky outfielder. He said in batting practice, try to hit it through the wall, through the fence. And it's so interesting how times have changed. Where guys were trying to launch the ball into the seats. It's so funny, Jesse, because there's so many different philosophies. And his philosophy during batting practice was try not to hit a home run. And I didn't agree with that, but it's one of those terminology things that I think helps you reduce those long stretches where you're not hitting very well. So you need those, but you also need to have the ability, like today, trying to launch a baseball during batting practice. Like you have to practice what you're trying to do, but you also need to know the type of hitter you are.
That's why that launch angle thing is not one size fits all. And it has worked very well for the Justin Turners of the world. But not every guy is going to have success implementing that approach. 3-2 to Mejia is popped. Randall ran out of room. Look out, Mary Hart. Now, 20 years ago at Dodger Stadium, that's an out.
There was a lot of room. Wow.
Wasn't kidding.
How'd you know the seat assignments?
You know, we come here like 30 times a season, it feels like, and there's just some things you know. Good battle here with Mejia and Stripling. You got Larry King. He's a little bit kind of to the right of that as you watch from center field. Not necessarily every night. When Jason Bateman is here, he sits down by the visiting dugout in those seats. Billie Jean King in the house. She is a new minority owner for the Dodgers. Very cool. 39 Grand Slams off the top of my head.
That's impressive.
Hope I'm not shorting her. Another foul ball. I have now exhausted the extent of my celebrity knowledge. That's it. That's everybody. I got one other for you.
What do you got?
Oh, the Garv. That's baseball. That's easy. After all of that, Mejia draws a walk. Nice turn at bat for the young catcher. And I'm sure another Dodger Stadium regular, Pat Sajak, would be very impressed.
You know what my favorite part of a Dodger was? And obviously I didn't play much. Catching the first pitch. It was impressive. I can't go over the list, but, you know, I said yes a lot. Why not?
Stripling issuing his first walk. And it comes immediately on the heels of that 2-run homer by Renfroe. Really nice job by Mejia. And the Padres looking for more here after the 10-pitch battle between Stripling and Mejia.
Stripling came into this inning with 40 pitches. You wonder how long he is going to go.
Through 72 pitches Sunday in St. Louis, that only got him through 3 1/3. And that's exactly where he's at right here, right now, with Corey Spangenberg at the plate.
With 72 pitches, you would think that progression would be right around 85, 90. And that's typical coming off of the Sable list. You have to have that progression. It's not free reign for Ross Stripling yet. And Dave Roberts' Dodgers.
Backs up, but for a strike, and now 0-2 on Spangenberg. trying to hold off on the high heat. He does. Mark Wegner, the third base umpire, gives him new life. Corey reached on an error his first time. He's 0 for 1. As Pedro Baez begins the slow process of getting ready out in the Dodger bullpen.
Did you say slow?
I did. He is one of 15 available relievers for Dave Roberts tonight. 2-2. That one rolls away, but Mejia will stay put at first base. Now a little bit of a theme here that I think we're noticing with Stripling. He's getting ahead and having some trouble finishing off these Padre hitters.
Yeah, and he's starting to look like he is laboring a little bit, taking more time in between pitches. It might be something that Dave Roberts and Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, are watching.
Yeah, he looks like a totally different guy this inning than he did previously.
That's Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach. You think about the Dodgers, and before that big series against Colorado, they had a very good series against St. Louis, but before that was against the Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati Reds were 6-1 versus the Dodgers this year.
That's one of the most remarkable things you will hear about the 2018 season when you consider where each of those franchises are right now. And another full count after Stripling was initially ahead.
And this might be his last hitter if he does lose Corey Spangenberg. Why we touched on the Cincinnati Reds is that you never know. That's been the disappointment if you're a Dodger fan. You're realizing that they don't step up and beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
Payoff pitch to Spangenberg is fouled back, and another long plate appearance here.
Things working against Ross Stripling because Corey Spangenberg works the count full. And for Freddie Galvis, who's actually taken probably one of the best swings tonight against Ross Stripling. Here's Freddie on the on-deck circle.
Eighth pitch of this at bat about to be delivered, and another foul ball. Different story here in the fourth inning for Ross Stripling after a very efficient first three. Another one, and another foul ball.
35 pitches this inning, and this is when those legs get heavy. You start making mistakes. And hopefully the Padres can capitalize here.
Yeah, Mejia's at first base after a 10-pitch walk, and now Spangenberg about to see a 10th pitch. Back-to-back 10-pitch walks. Stripling with his head hung probably realizes this is just about the end of the night, and Dave Roberts is on his way out to the mound. They had the right-hander Pedro Baez warming. Dave takes the ball, and Stripling will depart with a couple of men on, and the Padres leading here in the fourth. a lead with a gapper, but Kike Hernandez with a fine running catch in center field. That helped out Ross Stripling back in the second inning, but his luck ran out here in the fourth. And he is out of this game. Kike's efforts notwithstanding. Hernandez is also homered to drive in the only Dodger run. But now, Pedro Baez.
Well, Pedro Baez pitched in the game on Wednesday night against Colorado, but only a third of an inning. 51 games he's appeared in. He's done a very good job over the last 14 outings. 15 strikeouts to 2 walks in those outings.
You see the reverse splits. Left-handed hitters only 172 against him. Galvis, of course, is a switch hitter and will bat left-handed. How about Stripling back from the DL? He's made 3 starts. They've all lasted exactly 3 1/3 innings. How about this? Deep down the right field line, hooking and foul. Boy, a couple of near misses this week for Freddie Galvis.
He's swinging a hot bat. The reason why, you can see left-handed. He's getting that foot down a little bit earlier, really firing the hands. We've seen him be very productive from the right side. Left side's been a little inconsistent, and that's a nice swing right there.
Robbed by Hernandez in his only other at bat tonight. Batting here with 2 on and only 1 out in a very long top of the 4th inning. Out in front, he pops it up. Turner takes command of the situation. Third baseman makes the catch, and that is the second out here in the 4th. And he stays put at second base. And Spangenberg at first.
7, Manuel Margot.
Two on and 2 out for the number 8 hitter, Manuel Margot. Neither guy hiding his intentions at all. Manuel goes right after that first pitch fastball, 0-1.
And why not? Because those reverse splits, you can see him much better from the right side. Manuel Margot likes to be aggressive early in those runners in scoring position situations.
Made the comment earlier about Baez being slow. He earned a reputation the last couple of years as being a very methodical worker out on the mound, but in fairness, he has definitely quickened it up this year.
Yeah, this is a former third baseman in the minor leagues, converted to a pitcher, so maybe that takes time, just the awareness. But there's no slighting his big right-handed arm.
Padres have struck for a couple of runs here in the 4th inning. And now 2 on with 2 outs. 0-2 to Margot, and another foul ball. We have seen a lot of foul balls in this inning from Padre batters. Some good fight, some good battling, Mark Sweeney.
Yeah, and you have to, and that's what got Ross Stripling out there. You think about Hunter Renfroe in that home run, that line drive home run. Ross Stripling wasn't the same after that. So yes, it's the Padres battling and getting into that bullpen, which is very important.
Stripling issuing, say that 3 times fast. Back-to-back 10-pitch walks to Mejia and Spangenberg. That was it for him in this 4th. Another 0-2 to Margot.
Well, that was a pretty good take, but you think about Grandal, he took that out of the strike zone.
Another pop-up. This time, Dozier coming in. And the inning is over as Baez strands a couple of inherited runners. The Padres, though, take the lead. Big Hunter Renfroe with a big home run. 2-run shot. His 24th of the season. And the Padres will take a 2-1 lead to the bottom of the fourth. Trivia question. There you go. Eric Lauer entered tonight with a 0.61 career ERA against the Dodgers. So we're looking for the Padres starter with the lowest career ERA against the Dodgers. Lauer would not qualify. We need at least 50 innings. Those are the parameters set by Chiron Bob down in the truck. So basically, Padres starter with the best career ERA against LA. You want to work this one out together?
I would probably side towards a reliever.
Oh.
Yeah. I would say probably Hoffy. Oh, it's a starting pitcher. Yeah. Sorry. Gotta love that.
Stay hot. Freeze goes after the first pitch and fouls it away. I think it said it there, right?
I don't know. I didn't read it. Did you read it?
I was reading it, but not reading it. You know, it just sort of comes out of your mouth.
You liked my idea at first.
I did. It was. I liked how you approached it. But
I'm going to go Andy Ashby.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm going to jump right on that. Hey, you know what? RJ, Randy Jones. I was thinking about him earlier today. He may very well be watching right now.
Now he's going to be mad at me that I didn't pick him.
But the next time you see Andy Ashby, oh, big hug.
And I picked you.
Freeze struck out his first time. Lays off this one. What percentage of people watching right now do you think realized David Freese was a Dodger? It's amazing. You know, they just kept making move after move, and these are not little names. These are not small pieces they're adding. And you know, we've talked a lot tonight about the number of guys the Dodgers have available off the bench, and they're using 39 of the possible 40 roster spots, which is highly unusual, if not unprecedented. I have not studied that. But they're doing it with very good reason. They understand what September baseball is, and they looked at it and said, hey, we're in a close race here. I mean, they're playing within the rules.
Yeah, and it's the anticipation of playing on the big stage. That has a lot to do with the opportunities that these guys have to be on that playoff roster.
That found some space out in left center field. Margot was playing the other way, but Manuel does a good job getting to it in a hurry and holding Freese to a single. Leadoff man aboard, though, for the Dodgers here in a one-run game in the fourth.
You watch David Freese and how he handles the bat. You can see handling that top of the strike zone. That's the reason why he gets the start tonight against Lauer. But I love how Manuel Margot handles this. He's covering that right center gap. You can see center field's not covered, but hustles over and keeps that double play in order.
Now the dangerous Matt Kemp 0 for 1. He tapped back to Lauer his first time. Padres did damage in the top of this inning. They also stranded a couple. And Kemp has done damage against the Padres all year long.
And this is when he looks middle in, when he gets that favorable count.
Kind of an inside-out swing and a long run, but Spangenberg able to get there to make the catch. And that's the first out in the 4th inning. Time for the top tier play brought to you by Arco.
Well, one of the hottest hitters and how they're going to attack, going away against Yasiel Puig. Then they start crowding him a little bit. I think that's pretty important in that glove side. You see him very uncomfortable, moving his feet, and that's where you have him because he takes that 3-2 slider. Perfect pitching by Eric Lauer and setting up Yasiel Puig.
He was the second of what are now 4 strikeouts for Lauer. Eric had 4 in his last start against the Rangers on Saturday, went 5+ in that game. And there's the pickoff move. First time we've seen it tonight. He's got 10 more than anybody else in baseball.
Well, what that does as well is, you know, Freese isn't going to be running too much. That's going to keep him closer to that base. Hopefully it's an easier turn on a ground ball.
That extra split second can be all the difference in the world. And Puig certainly capable of grounding into a double play. Leads the team, doing it 14 times this year. It's generally the middle of the order guys who do lead the team in double plays because they're coming up a lot with guys on base.
Yasiel Puig is starting to jump in that batter's box. That's a good sign if you're a Padre fan, understanding that you can attack. He starts getting out of the strike zone. See the success against, or lack thereof, against the Padres.
Hangs the curveball and Puig skies it to left. Renfroe is there and 2 away. It's gotten to the point in the season after Puig has done the things that he has done that the crowd here at Dodger Stadium expects only the best. Time for Lowe's whole team together. Dodgers with 219 home runs collectively this season, most of the National League. This is just your top 5. They got 2 other guys who have hit at least 20, and Grandal heading into free agency, by the way. Tied for second behind Max Muncy, who is not in the lineup tonight.
Jesse, we've touched on it too, though, the inconsistency of this offense. And you would think the Dodgers would have that 100 RBI guy. Matt Kemp leads the team with 79 RBIs. Day and age where you're starting to see that home run, but guys have to get on. It's that big 2-3 run homers that really changed the game.
Little bit up to Grandal. 2-0 on the Dodger catcher.
Home plate umpire John Tumpain has really stayed in that strike zone. Hasn't given anything off the edges tonight.
Grandal in front, and he takes the 2-0 for a strike. Saw the 23 home runs for Yasmani. He's the first Dodger catcher with 3 straight 20-homer seasons since Mike Piazza had 5 in a row back in the early mid-90s. Flowers issued only 1 walk, and it was to Grandal in the second.
An important pitch here, but you got Brian Dozier that's on the on-deck circle, and that might be a guy that you want to attack. Grandal's had success against his former club, and Dozier has struggled in a Dodger uniform.
Popped him up, but could be tricky. Spangenberg on the run. Closes, makes the play, and the inning is over. Padres will go to the 5th with a 1-run lead in Los Angeles.
Win at desperation times every single night, and they're scoreboard watching, and it's not necessarily at the end of the game, it's watching in between innings. It's a stressful time if you're in that race.
Eric Lauer at the plate. He struck out back in the 3rd inning. Turner makes the play, and 1 down now. Take a look around baseball. It's not only the playoff stuff that's interesting, but you also get these kinds of changes as the Rangers today dismissed Jeff Bannister as their manager.
And you think about it, 2015, he was the manager of the year for the Texas Rangers, but you're also in that division with the Houston Astros and the Oakland A's this year. But it was a struggle, and you could see the record, 31 games behind the first place Houston Astros. Only 64 wins.
2 years ago, the Rangers won 95 games. It feels like a lifetime ago. And the start of a new era, certainly next season in Arlington. Leadoff man, Will Myers. He's got one of the 3 Padre hits. Baez misses with the fastball, 1-0. And 4th inning could come back to haunt the Padres if this thing stays tight. Obviously, got a couple of runs. You took the lead, but you had runners on first and second, only 1 out. Galvis and Margot coming up. They both popped out. You know, you knocked the starter out of the game. It was a 31-minute half inning, but you only got the 2 runs.
Yeah, you almost feel like when they're on that brink, you have to have that big hit. You have to extend yourself. And the Padres haven't had that ability. You don't want to stay close to a team that loves those late inning heroics. That's what the Dodgers have done, and that's how they've won. But Andy Green understands this offense has to be more consistent in those scenarios.
Myers homered Wednesday night at home against the Giants. He's tied up there, but able to hold up. 2 balls and a strike to Will. Yeah, I don't think the Dodgers are worried about a 1-run deficit in the 5th inning at this point.
We've had good production off the bench. As we've alluded to, there's a lot of options for Dave Roberts.
Ryan Madsen and Zach Roskup both throwing. Said at the beginning of the game, Dave Roberts has 15 guys available in that bullpen. You could argue it's 16 because you got Pat Venditti out there, who's both a right-handed pitcher and a left-handed pitcher. Myers draws the walk, and the Padres have another man aboard. You know what, this walk thing has started to pick up a little bit for the Padres in the last week or so as well. That's the 3rd tonight. 2 last inning against Stripling. Now Myers here against Baez.
Yeah, and this is a running situation. Obviously picked off earlier in the game, but Will Myers has to press the issue here, in my opinion. You have a base running threat as an offensive weapon like Reyes. He can look and hunt that fastball.
They pick Myers off, trying to steal back in the 3rd inning with Reyes at the plate. Pods have drawn at least 4 walks in 5 consecutive games now. First time they've done that all year. Myers adding to the total here in the 5th inning. Reyes' lead single last inning extended his hitting streak to 12 games. That is the longest by a Padre this season.
Franmil is upset because both of those fastballs have beat him just a tad. It's that finish of the velocity on that fastball.
Baez picked up for Stripling in the 4th inning. He stranded a couple of runners. Got a clean start here in the 5th, but issued a 1-out walk to Myers. And a check on Will. Reyes takes in the dirt, and now 2 balls and 2 strikes from Baez.
Yeah, the secondary pitches for Baez is what he wants to stay away from. Doesn't feel comfortable, slows his arm up, and they're easier takes.
I said last inning he'd sped things up a little bit this year. Not by much.
Well, this is when he wants to throw that quality pitch. So I think this is a pitch that you can attack if you want to steal a base. That slow leg kick.
Myers does not go, and that one in the dirt again. Now 3-2. Boy, all night long it seems like Dodger pitchers have been in front 0-2, only to see the count end up full.
Yeah, it hasn't been the finished night that I think Rick Honeycutt would like to see his pitchers have. This is a definite fastball situation, and it's going to be middle away.
See if Myers runs on 3-2. He does. Swing and a miss, and no throw from Grandal. So Will does steal his 11th base of the season, now in scoring position with 2 outs, and Eric Hosmer coming up.
Watch Baez and how he slowly attacks Franmil Reyes tonight. The first pitch slider, then he beats him with that 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Back-to-back heaters. And Franmil's trying to work that at bat. What he does is he sees that off speed out of the hands. Ends up getting into that 3-2 count and expose that fastball up. I think Will Myers running on that pitch really hurt Franmil Reyes in that situation.
That's all for Pedro Baez. The left-hander Roskup coming in to face Eric Hosmer. Padres trying to add on in the top of the 5th.
For the Dodgers, number 59, Zach Roskup.
The same thing that we kind of went through last year. It's that healthy competition. Like, you want to outdo each other, but you want everybody else to do good, so you can try to do better. You're still rooting for everybody. You don't want anybody to do bad or anything, but like, there's still that little friendly competition between everybody. Like, they just want to be the guy.
Tune in tonight for a brand new episode of Padres POV, the Future of the Friars edition. Lisa sits down with the young starters of this rotation to discuss making their debuts and what to expect in 2019. One of those guys on the hill, and so far so good for Eric Lauer tonight, as Zach Roskup becomes the 3rd Dodger pitcher used in this game.
He has tossed 7 innings of scoreless relief. Picked
him up from Colorado on waivers back in early July.
One of those left-handers that makes it uncomfortable. You're looking for possibly maybe a third of an inning in this situation. So many options to go with Dave Roberts down in that bullpen.
Myers at second after the stolen base, but 0-2, and Hosmer in the air the other way. Kemp running out of room, but has just enough reach to get there and make the catch in foul territory. Roskup comes in, gets his man thanks to Kemp. Time to answer our Valley View Casino trivia question. Which starting pitcher in Padre history has the lowest career earned run average against the Dodgers? Your guess was?
Andy Ashby.
Mine was Randy Jones, and look at you.
Whoa.
1.90.
Ashman, I love you. I miss you, buddy, and hopefully you're watching, because that's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Actually pitched in a Dodger uniform, too, late in his career.
Doge, the number 8 hitter, will lead off, and Lauer bounces a curveball.
I knew it was a starter all along.
Well, the hint there was in the question. It said which starting pitcher. That's how you were able to eliminate, guys like Trevor Hoffman.
I got to read those next time.
You're welcome to read it. Chris Taylor in the on-deck circle to hit for Roskup. It's interesting. You think about Eric Lauer against the Dodgers. We've gone over some of the good numbers for him this year. I mean, his best start certainly, and probably the best start by any Padre this year, came against the Dodgers. He had that near shutout, a near complete game at Petco. Muncy hit the homer with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
There's teams that you feel more comfortable against. There's also different matchups that are good matchups for you. I think for Eric Lauer tonight, in handling the intensity of what Dodger Stadium's all about and the calmness that he has in big situations, that's what has stuck out in my mind.
Also, the nice thing tonight is he's had troubles this year when he has not gotten good run support. And look, the Padres have given him a lead, but it's only a pair of runs so far. He's got much better numbers when he gets big run support, and not just wins and losses, which is obvious, but the ERA, very different when he gets a lot of support than when he doesn't. Tonight, though, obviously in command out on the mound, despite the fact that the offense has done just enough to give him a lead here in the middle innings. Now the 2-2 to Dozier and another foul ball.
Back-to-back pitches, one in, one away. I think he's going to elevate right here, the top of the strike zone. Done it two ways tonight: the four-seam fastball and also the slider.
Fouled off of Mejia. Lauer got his first major league win against the Dodgers. That was one of the games in Mexico. 6 shutout innings. Mentioned the near complete game. 8 2/3 for Andy Green back in July against the Dodgers. Counting tonight, 2 runs allowed in 18 2/3 innings against LA. Dozier just gets a piece and stays alive.
Well, they haven't been good swings by Brian Dozier, and why I say that is because he looks uncomfortable, not seeing that release point. He's doing enough, and he's trying to work where he gets that mistake from Eric Lauer.
Hosmer's got this one in his sights, and that is the first out in the bottom of the 5th. Obviously, the Dodgers doing some scoreboard watching, and they will not like what they see in Phoenix. Rockies with a 4-run 8th have jumped in front of the Diamondbacks 6-2. Arizona had a 2-0 lead in this game.
And that'll change it. And for Dave Roberts, that'll change the way you even manage this team. This game, the situations, they intensify.
Chris Taylor will pinch hit. He was the hero on Tuesday night against the Rockies. It is 17th home run of the season, and we mentioned all those guys with 20 home runs this year for LA. If he gets there, it'll be a new major league record. He would be the 8th Dodger with 20 home runs this season.
Wow.
He's also struck out more than anybody else in the National League. All right, Tuesday night, big moment, game winner. 10th inning walk-off home run, the first walk-off home run of his career. Action no doubter into the left field pavilion, and this place was shaking.
That was rocking, and what was surprising, it was off Adam Ottavino, who dominates right-handed hitting. That was a mistake slider that Taylor capitalized on.
Looking for another dramatic moment, and a base hit will suffice, I'm sure, from his perspective. 1-out single in the pinch for Chris Taylor.
It's unbelievable, Jesse, and obviously they have talent off the bench. Chris Taylor, this hard single to left, is the 61st pinch hit on the season. Obviously the late inning dramatics, but also coming off the bench and producing. Not an easy task, but Taylor makes it look easy.
Kike Hernandez has driven in the only Dodger run. He hit a solo homer, his 21st of the season, back in the 3rd inning. You know where I can get any pine tar?
Oh yeah. Put your hand right on that top of that helmet.
Carried around for a week. L.A.?
I think so.
Okay. On the shoulder because of that. Dodgers have certainly turned up the aggressiveness on the base paths the last couple of weeks. That's part of what they're doing to try and push themselves forward here in the final couple of weeks of the season. And Taylor certainly capable of taking a bag, but we talked about it earlier with Eric Lauer on the mound. That is a great equalizer.
Yeah, very difficult to probably get a good read against Eric Lauer. Always in the back of your mind, you got to take that extra long look at the left-hander.
Eric with 10 on the season. Bob Shirley has the franchise record of 13. Taylor has stolen 9 bags this year, but been caught 6 times.
A hand on those knees indicating he's not going, but he could still go on first move.
Saw him leaning back to first as Kike slices that one into center field right at Margot. And out number 2.
Third baseman, Justin Turner.
Go back about 7 weeks ago. Nobody has more hits or a higher batting average or a higher on-base percentage than Justin Turner.
He really wasn't the same guy in the first half because of that wrist injury that he sustained in spring training.
Doubled his first time up, and he has now reached safely in each of his last 26 starts.
Yeah, this is the guy they rely on, and for his numbers to be that good since August 2nd. Now you're starting to realize they're getting identity offensively because of Turner.
This guy was the 3rd leading hitter in the National League last year, and like you said, took him a while to get going, had the injury issues, but he's back to being his old self here, and at the right time, I'm sure, from a Dodger perspective. He's the heart and soul of the team, too. Talk to anybody in that clubhouse.
I think that's the reason why the Dodgers got off to such a slow start. I think everyone was looking around, other than Matt Kemp, wondering who was going to offensively impact the game.
Kemp certainly filled the void about as well as anybody could. And Turner now in front 3-0. Was out until May 15th. Broke his wrist on a hit by pitch in spring training.
2 DL sents to Clayton Kershaw, their ace.
Swinging on 3-0, he fouls it back. Robert Stock up in the Padre bullpen, and you see there Lauer about to throw his 90th pitch. Obviously, he's been effective tonight. He's allowed a run on 4 hits so far. These are a lot of high-stress pitches. In a close game against these kinds of hitters, there's no soft spot in this order. It's not 89 pitches against anybody.
Yeah, and this is where you grow up. For Eric Lauer, that's the reason why they put him in this situation.
Turner taking and just high, ball 4. Mentioned the slow start for the Dodgers. You go back to what, let's say May 8th, and where they were. Turner would come back about a week after that, and things really exploded for Los Angeles. Andy Green trying to win a ball game here at Dodger Stadium. Lauer has hit 90 pitches. There are 2 on and 2 out. For the moment, this is a conversation. And he wants to take the kid's temperature here.
I think he's going to leave him in here. And why I say that, and I like it that they're having that conversation. This is how you extend an Eric Lauer. He's had good success against Manny Machado tonight. That being said, you don't want to make a mistake. He's extending himself with that pitch count. Maybe Andy Green wanted to get time and temperature, but also the awareness and give him just a little bit of a breather.
9:12 p.m., 68 degrees. So a big spot for the 23-year-old left-hander. 2 on and 2 out in a 1-run game, bottom of the 5th. Machado is grounded out twice, and he takes in the dirt, ball 1. Coming into play tonight, opponents have been 0 for their last 18 with runners in scoring position against Eric Lauer. Tonight, the Dodgers are so far 0 for 2.
And Machado knows he missed his pitch right there. Likes to look middle away, but he's been beat in tonight. His previous at-bats really have an indication of what you're trying to look for. Andy Green understands this is how Eric Lauer grows up. Big situation against a big bat.
Machado fouls it back, and now Lauer in front, of ball and 2 strikes. Taylor at second base represents the potential tying run. Turner at first. Lauer dealing with a 4-time All-Star. The 1-2. Foul back.
Now Francisco Mejia's got to be careful because he's setting up early in a scenario here. 2 strikes. You can't show location. Chris Taylor on second base needs to know that you can give location. Francisco Mejia needs to have that conversation. Or is Spangenberg coming in as well, the second baseman?
Yeah,
you know, Jesse, these veteran teams, they know how to relay signs, and it's not necessarily the type of pitch. It has everything to do with location. So if you're a catcher that sets up early, that could be a disadvantage. If you're making that pitch, that's a young catcher that needs to understand the situation in the game.
A later setup and a swing and a miss. Lauer strikes out Machado and gets through 5. Dodgers strand a pair, and the Padres will go to the 6th inning in Los Angeles with a 2-1 lead. Fastball away. That will do. 5 strikeouts for Eric Lauer.
Machado gets big on back-to-back fastballs that I thought he had an opportunity for. And Lauer ends up going with that fastball, trying to elevate. And that fastball on that arm side was a difference maker. 27 pitches that inning, but none bigger than that punch out from Manny Machado in a big situation.
Could very well be the end of the night for Eric Lauer, and if it is, Andy Green has seen his 23-year-old left-hander make 3 starts against the Dodgers this year and allow only 2 runs in 19 2/3 innings. That would be a 0.92 ERA.
Yeah, and you go back to Andy Green and going out there having a conversation.
Funky little floater back behind the mound, and well done by Ryan Madsen. Fresh into the game out of the bullpen, he's able to go back there and make a defensive play. Wow.
This is not an easy play, and why? Because the bat absolutely comes shattering out, so you're visually looking at that bat. Ryan Madsen goes behind himself. Watch the athletic play. Knows it's going to be difficult for his middle infielders, and that jump throw to first baseman Freese.
There will be new lumber next time for Hunter Renfroe as Mejia stands in. Mejia, in his last time up, helped to grind starter Ross Stripling out of this game. Worked a 10-pitch walk, as did the next guy, Corey Spangenberg, and that was all for Stripling.
I touched on it, Jesse. It was important for Andy Green to go out there and have that conversation with Eric Lauer. So we'll go down to Bob, our resident pitcher. Bob, what do you think of that scenario and how the young left-hander handled this situation?
I loved it. It was outstanding. It was one of those growth moments. The entire reason that we were talking about this series coming into it, guys, you had a high-pressure situation against a tough lineup, and he came up big when he needed to with the game on the line. And Andy Green showed a lot of confidence in there, going out there and having a little chat with them, you know, catch his breath a little bit. But I think you guys referenced it earlier in saying throughout this entire ball game, Eric Lauer has been calm, cool, collected. At no moment in this game did it look like he was getting caught up in the moment, caught up in the energy, trying to overthrow or be something that he's not, which is common for young guys in these types of situations. So kudos to Eric Lauer for doing an outstanding job tonight and coming up big in that key clutch situation, going fastballs all the way to retire Machado.
Bob, wanted to ask you too, the last start at Petco, he had more velocity than he did tonight. He varied it a little bit more. And I thought it was important for him to go out there and attack. And it wasn't velocity tonight. Had a lot to do with how he's attacking, how he's setting up hitters.
I would agree 100%, Sweens. And what I thought he did really well tonight is he used all quadrants of the strike zone, and it wasn't back and forth as much as we've seen him in other outings. To your point, when you've got the bigger fastball, you can go back and forth a little bit more in terms of keeping the batters off balance. Tonight it was more in and out, up and down, using the fastball on the outside corner, using that slider slash cutter on the inside part of the plate to widen the plate. So I thought he did a nice job of you know, use the word adjustment all the time. That's an in-game adjustment of knowing what you have, what is working, how am I going to attack these hitters tonight given what I have tonight. And I thought he did a great job of using what he had to the fullest and really expanding that zone left to right.
Padres want to see the young guys this weekend. Lauer certainly gets a nice check mark next to his name tonight. Knicks tomorrow, Luke Casey on Sunday against the Dodgers. Spangenberg on 2-0 grounds it right to Dozier at second base, and a 1-2-3 sixth for Ryan Madsen out of the bullpen. Padres hanging on 2-1.
And starting in week 4, Fox will be the new network home of Thursday night football. And the schedule we have on Fox this year is loaded. One huge can't-miss matchup after another. Thursday night football coming to Fox, week 4. Now it's a game. Watch out for those Rams.
Woo-wee. Down the street here. Pretty good team, huh? Eric Lauer, pretty good night. A run on 4 hits in 5 innings. Turns it over to the left-hander, Jose Castillo.
Jose Castillo working his 34th game. Very good splits, and he has been very good in pressure-packed situations.
Like Lauer, he appears to be one of those low heartbeat guys. Not really all that impacted by the situation he finds himself in. And, you know, Bob made a good point about that. You were talking about it with Lauer. I think back also, even his major league debut, which was a miserably cold, rainy night in Denver back in April. And he gave up a grand slam to Trevor Story, I think in the 2nd or 3rd inning. And obviously things had unraveled pretty good for him at that moment. And he just sort of turned around and watched the ball fly out of there. And he kind of smirked a little bit. He was not at all just kind of bothered by this situation. He knew he was there for a reason. He knew it was Coors. He wasn't going to let it get to him. And he comes out and has a very, very nice rookie year.
I think if you evaluate a mound presence for a young pitcher, whether he's on the pitching mound or in the batter's box, I think that's really encouraging. But it can also work against you because he has that low heartbeat, and if he's struggling, it might be people that say, well, he doesn't care on the mound. It's not that at all. That's very tough to teach, and there's not a lot of people that have it. But Eric Lauer coming into a big situation tonight mentally, but also calmly, he went out there and did what he is used to be doing, going out there, executing pitches. I thought it was a very good outing for him.
Slider in the air, foul the other way. So still 2-2 on David Freese. Middle of the order for the Dodgers here in the 6th inning. Kemp and Puig, the other scheduled hitters. These 3 guys tonight, a combined 1 for 6 against Lauer. And as you see, Freese has the 1. He led off the 4th inning with a single.
Most people got to realize a mound presence usually comes with experience. Well, Eric Lauer is gaining experience, and tonight was a big step.
Strikes him out here, and Castillo is filthy, 1 away.
Well, Castillo understands that it's all about the fastball slider combination. He'll throw either at any point, and exposing Eric Lauer, loving that.
He's all fired up. There's that heartbeat we're talking about.
Can't you see it?
Do they scout that? Do you say a guy has an 80 grade heartbeat?
Well, you know what? It might not be on that scale, but is definitely written in scouting reports. I think a lot of the scouts are back there and watching Eric Lauer. That's something that you discuss. Obviously, he can handle the running game. There's intangibles that you need to have. And Eric Lauer has those. Does he have to work on things? Yes, he does.
Camp to center. Margot's there. And 2 down here in the 6th. Coming up in the middle of the 7th inning, stay tuned for the Arco game break with Mike Pomerantz and Clay Hensley. Lauer struck him out in the 2nd, flew him out in the 4th. Hard hit and into the shift. Nicely done by Corey Spangenberg. And a 1-2-3 6th inning for Jose Castillo. The Padres still lead it 2-1. Padres a lead in the second inning, but Kike Hernandez laying out, making a great catch to keep the game scoreless. And then in the bottom of the third, Hernandez at the plate. Well, it was no longer scoreless. He hit a home run. That gave the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. Very next inning, though, Hunter Renfroe, a laser to left, a 2-run shot, and the Padres in front 2-1. That is still the score in this game, thanks in large part to Eric Lauer getting out of a sticky situation in the fifth inning. Struck out Manny Machado to end it. And what an evening so far as we go to the seventh inning. Padres in front 2-1. Galvis was robbed by Hernandez back in the second, leads it off here in the seventh. Then Margot, and presumably a pinch hitter for the Padres. They try and add on against Ryan Madsen. He worked a 1-2-3 sixth inning. Talked a lot tonight about the standings and scoreboard watching, and the Rockies are 2 outs away from finishing off the Diamondbacks. Big comeback for Colorado. Not totally out of the woods yet. Goldschmidt led off with a double in the bottom of the ninth inning, but if that score holds, Colorado, for the moment at least, will pick up a half game on the Dodgers. We're talking about, I mean, the guys in the dugout are fully aware of it. That has an impact on what's taking place.
Yeah, there'll be guys that go up into the clubhouse. They'll turn those channels will be in the clubhouse on the Rockies Diamondbacks game.
Galvis hooks that one down the right field line, and this time he straightens it out. He missed it down the line in his last at-bat foul. This one a home run. 13th of the season for Galvis. He's now gone deep in back-to-back games, and the Padres add another here in the seventh.
Oh, Freddie G starting to heat up. He had that cold stretch. This is a guy that goes out and grinds out at bats. A changeup over the middle of the plate. And Freddie Galvis had that sound. Nice leg kick and drive with his lower half.
Galvis certainly heating up. 7 for 13 against the Giants. And now another home run, 361 feet down the line here at Dodger Stadium. Boy, it's amazing. You know, the other night against the Giants, he missed that one off the wall, then homers the next day. Here tonight, just misses one foul, and then straightens it out just enough in his next at bat.
Yeah, and Freddie has a lot of fun with this game, but you can almost see that intensity on his. And that is so important, because you go through those cold stretches and you almost feel like you're embarrassed. But Freddie Galvis goes out there and he's a pro every single day. We see it defensively. He does not lapse defensively, but offensively, especially from the left side, he's had his struggles, and that's a big swing for him.
Again, a Dodger pitcher had gotten in front 0-2 and has not been any sort of indicator for success tonight for LA. For all the talk about strikeouts this year, Padres have only K'd 5 times so far tonight against the 4 Dodger pitchers. Can add another to the total, though. Margot unable to hold up on that one. And that's the first out here in the 7th inning. Javi Guerra has been introduced as the pinch hitter. He's a left-handed batter, and so Dave Roberts will make the power walk out to the mound to retrieve the right-hander Madsen and go to a southpaw. Takes the baseball, and that's it. Padres get another against the veteran right-hander, and a pitching change in the 7th. Galvis, a solo shot here in the 7th, has given the Padres now a 3-1 lead. And Jose Perella will come up to hit against the left-hander Alex Wood. A little chess match here with Dave Roberts and Andy Green.
Yeah, Alex Wood making his 2nd appearance since going to the bullpen for Dave Roberts. Came in on Monday night, 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, but allowed 2 runs. Left-hander has struggled at times with command.
Wood and Perella have a history, you may remember. That moment, last year? Perella on second base. Wood accused him of relaying signs. Became a little bit chaotic at Petco. So Guerra was introduced as the pinch hitter, left-handed batter. That prompted Dave Roberts to go to Wood. And Guerra now burned. But hey, in September, a little bit easier to do that. You get the Perella-Wood matchup. He'll ground to shortstop. And a nice job over at first base by Freese to handle the low throw 2 away.
Baseman number 4, Myers.
Myers aboard twice tonight out of the leadoff spot. Will, in his 4th plate appearance, is seeing his 3rd different pitcher in this game.
Yeah, that's hard, Jesse. If you think about spring training, you go through those scenarios, but spring training, the guys aren't really finished. You can sit on that fastball. When you do it in the regular season, it's a tough task.
Makes it feel like a pinch hit appearance, I'm sure.
Not good.
Good breaking ball, and now 0-2.
So many hitters like to set certain guys up in scenarios. You can't do that if you have a different pitcher you're facing every time up.
The days of getting 3 or 4 looks at a guy seem to be going away, if they're not already gone. Myers on 0-2 stays alive. And obviously in September, as we said, it's a whole different thing altogether. Got him. Myers strikes out swinging, and time now for our Arco game break with Mike Pomerantz and Clay Hensley. Saquon's brand new 300-room resort and hotel. And by Evans Tire and Service Centers, home of the buy two, get two. Padres playing a little bit of long ball at Dodger Stadium tonight. Hunter Renfroe, a 2-run shot in the 4th, and Freddie Galvis adding on in the top of this 7th inning.
Well, in comes Matt Strom, who has been excellent. Again, reverse splits. He's hitting against righties. 150 average. He has been excellent. That hybrid reliever that Andy likes to extend him even past 1 inning. 11 outings this year with 2 or more innings.
All kinds of options in the bullpen, certainly. And the Padre bullpen in the second half of the season, one of the best in all of baseball. Grandal to lead it off, switch hitter from the right side, and Strom gets a call on the inside part of the plate. Grandal drew one of the only 2 walks that Lauer gave up in 5 innings. A really nice start for the Padre left-hander. A run on 4 hits for Lauer against this deep and potent lineup.
And you also got to start throwing some credit to Francisco Mejia too. The crash course of him handling this pitching staff. Again, back-to-back starts where he has handled Eric Lauer, and I think that's a good sign.
Slow breaking ball that time, and 1-2.
You're going to keep that scenario. You know, Austin Hedges is that guy that you expect to run a pitching staff, but also Francisco Mejia has shown well in his Padre debut.
Fastball rolled up the third baseline, but foul.
It's amazing, Jesse, because everyone has a reputation when you come up from AAA. Obviously, you trade from Francisco Mejia. We heard about his offense. We didn't hear about his defense. I think he's shown very well setting up. There's certain things that he can adjust on the fly, but he's getting to see this pitching staff, and I think he's handled himself very nicely.
Grandal waited on the breaking ball and just into right. Now number 1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bob, it can't be easy down in the dugout there for a guy to come up, have to learn the staff, be comfortable with them, have them be comfortable with him.
No, you're absolutely right. And we've watched Andy Green and his progression of not only introducing Francisco Mejia to the league as a hitter, but also as a catcher. It wasn't by accident that his first game was with Eric Lauer. As we discussed earlier, he had caught Lauer down in the minor leagues. So Andy wanted to get him with somebody that he was comfortable with. And Andy has made it clear, look, I want him to catch everybody on this staff at some point. The only guy left in the rotation is Joey Lucchesi. But we saw tonight what a great job he did of handling Eric Lauer in that situation. And the other part was, as you guys may recall, in that 5th inning, Andy had to talk to them about changing the signs up. So it's not only learning your pitchers, it's learning the hitters, it's learning the league, it's learning the tendencies of the opposing manager, it's learning when hitters or base runners are tipping off signs. So there's a huge learning curve right here. I like A.J. Ellis's analogy. He says, look, we've got a fire hose, and we're just spraying this poor kid with information. You got to pace it a little bit, but I think he's done a fabulous job of getting up to speed with everybody, and we saw it again tonight with him and Eric Lauer working out of that jam in the 5th.
Been fun to watch. And will only be more fun moving forward to get that sense very clearly. Thank you, Bob. Just missing inside. 2 balls and a strike. Dozier, the number 8 hitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitcher spot is next for the Dodgers, and their home run leader, Max Muncy, is standing in the on-deck circle. Certainly would motivate you to get Dozier here in a 2-run game.
Yeah, big scenario. Let's see if he goes back-to-back fastballs in. Looks like he's going away.
Strom, the second man out of the bullpen. Jose Castillo, a fellow left-hander, worked a 1-2-3 6th. Only southpaws so far tonight for Andy Green's team. Lauer, Castillo, now Strom. 2-2. And now a full count. Payoff pitch. He wanted to swing, didn't, and it's ball 4. And now Matt Strom will have to face Max Muncy and his 33 home runs. There's the man aboard in the bottom of the 7th.
263 average against left-handed pitching. 8 of those 33 home runs have come against left-handers. For Matt Strom, just really that first pitch trying to get ahead. Muncy has power to left center.
Those home runs tied for 4th most in the National League. Came into today only 2 behind Matt Carpenter, who leads the league. Now the 1-1, Muncy taking, and again they're trying to work that slider away. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, what makes it difficult left on left against Matt Strom is you don't see that arm swing. He has a very good deceptive delivery. And it makes it very difficult. Mark McGuire and Andy Green going over scenarios and trying to script out the rest of the game.
On the ground foul, 2-2.
Mark Sweeney, question for you. As a pitcher, I watch his arm motion of Matt Strom, and it's so loose, it's so relaxed, it has such great late whip. I'm wondering, from a hitter's perspective, do you guys notice that? And does the ball jump out of a pitcher's hand who has an arm motion like his more so than others?
Yeah, that does, Scan. I mean, you can see it where it's very difficult. There's a lot of limbs, but he protects that arm swing. And it's a quick arm.
That was a good looking
pitch. See that quick arm swing and just off the plate on the inside part. And Muncy might have bought himself another fastball in this scenario.
Dozier not running, and the 3-2 is flailed at and missed. Strike 3. B.I.G. big as Muncy walks back to the dugout, 2 away.
Center field, number 14.
You know, early in the at bat, he took those sliders away. Very difficult. It's almost like you think that fastball is going to be thrown, and Strom throws that another perfect slider on the outside part of the plate.
$18 intense pitches to get 2 outs for Matt Strom. Now top of the order, Kike Hernandez. Hernandez home run in the 3rd inning, the only run of the night for the Dodgers.
I think Hernandez just seeks out that fastball early in the count. And that home run was middle in.
This game really has had a playoff feel to it. Obviously, the huge crowd here at Dodger Stadium, but knowing what this game means to the Dodgers, they're taking a lot of pitches, they're battling, it's intense. It's kind of a grinded out evening.
Yeah, and you know what? It almost sense that they all want to be that hero, looking for that big swing.
There's Puig in their last game, Taylor the night before that. 2-1 now to Hernandez.
A 2-0 changeup in that scenario. That's Strom having the belief that he can throw any pitch at any time.
Feels like a Yankee Red Sox game from 2003. Hard hit through for a base hit. Hernandez now 2 for 4. Dodgers have only 5 hits tonight. He's got a pair of them, and tying run is aboard here with 2 outs in the 7th.
We got to credit Hernandez for being able to adjust. He adjusts to that back-to-back changeups.
Does not appear as if Justin Turner will have the opportunity to face Matt Strom.
You can see that second changeup just elevated enough. Give Hernandez that opportunity to slash that.
So a hit and a walk. Strom will leave. Pitching change in the 7th.
Robert Stock.
Great pitcher Robert Stock, almost exactly 1 month ago after the power outage in the 12th inning. That was the matchup, Stock and Turner. You can see Turner's reaction. He didn't think this was good news for him.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a perfect pitch by Robert Stock. Unfortunately, it was Dodger night and Justin Turner night. Another walk-off after the power outage. Just a weird night ending in a Dodger victory.
So Stock with another opportunity to face Turner. We have 2 on and 2 out in a 2-run game, and a first pitch slider for a strike, 0-1. This guy has been one of the best stories, not only in San Diego this year, but in baseball. Los Angeles guy, played at SC, and in front 0-2 after a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Justin Turner was looking for that back-to-back sliders there. 97 miles an hour on the outside part of the plate. Perfect pitch to get him 0-2.
Turner maybe the hottest guy in baseball going back to the beginning of August. A double and a walk tonight in 3 trips. Behind 0-2, the pitch nearly hit him. And now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, it looked like late reaction. He wanted to lean into that pitch. The Back-up slider, and watch his reaction. The big leg kick, and almost leans into it with that left leg.
Now the 1-2 to Turner. 99 in the dirt. It rolls away, and both runners will advance.
He is upset at himself, but this is a fastball that's down and catches that dirt. Very difficult to block a fastball, especially at that velocity. Ricochets off that pad and stays in front, but both runners advance.
And both in scoring position on the wild pitch. They're on their feet here in Los Angeles. 2-2 to Turner. In the air, left field, not deep. Renfroe on the run. Inning over. Robert Stock comes out of the bullpen and strands two. Go to the 8th at Dodger Stadium. And now Dylan Floro becomes, let's see, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th different pitcher used by the Dodgers tonight.
Yeah, coming off of a big outing against the Rockies on Tuesday night. He punched out the last 2 hitters and got the 3rd win of the year in a Dodger uniform.
Muncy, who pinch hit, stays in the game to play first base, so David Freese' night is over. Sellout crowd here at Dodger Stadium, and they were rocking when Robert Stock went head-to-head with Justin Turner in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Robert Stock won that battle.
Yeah, started him off with a slider and finished him off with a very good slider.
Padres will now ask their bullpen to get 6 more outs and hold this lead. Reyes has extended his hitting streak to 12 games. It's the longest by a Padre in 2 years. Jan Hervé Solarte had a 14-game hitting streak in 2016. Singled and scored back in the 4th inning. .2-0 from Floro, and that's a strike. Able to lay off now in the driver's seat, 3-1.
And that's a pretty good take. Looked like a very good pitch. And the slider is off the plate. Reyes continues to handle that strike zone with much improved approach.
On 3-1 he takes, and it's outside, ball 4. Fourth walk drawn by the Padres tonight. That is now what, 6 straight games with at least 4 walks.
Jesse, it'd be so important as Jankowski takes over for Reyes to add on to their lead. After that pitching performance of Strom and Stock getting out of that inning.
16, Travis Jankowski is the bench runner.
That's what you want to do, add on to that lead.
Hosmer's had a tough year offensively against the Dodgers this year. Not that many of the Padres have had good offensive seasons against LA. Dodgers have won 12 of the 16 games between these two teams this year. Padres, though, with a 2-run lead late at Dodger Stadium tonight on an evening in which the Rockies have already won.
I like the presence of Jankowski at first base, and I'll tell you why. It quickens up Floro. Floro works on that movement. And if he modifies that leg kick, it might turn into a mistake.
Travis leads the team with 24 stolen bases, only been caught 6 times. Not running, but Hosmer finds a hole. He pulls it, and Jankowski easily going to go first to third. Padres are set up here. Runners on the corners and nobody out in the 8th.
Well, it's such a veteran at bat by Eric Hosmer. What I love about this, he understands that Jankowski is on the mind of Floro. He looks at that first base in between second and first. It's unoccupied. It's that single right through the hole, first and third for the Padre offense. It's just professional hitting by Hosmer.
His first of the night. Hunter's homer in the 4th put the Padres in front 2-1. Floro gets a call, no balls at his strike.
Yeah, that ball's off the plate. That was a good take by Hunter Renfroe. We've seen him so many times try to pull it in this situation.
Check out our Bill Howe plays of the game. Renfroe, the 2-run homer. That was in the 4th inning. That put the Padres in front 2-1 for Hunter. His team leading 24th of the year. And then a couple of innings later, how about an add-on shot from Freddie Galvis? Just yanked that one right out of Dodger Stadium. Galvis is 13th of the season, his 2nd in as many games. A little bit of a cushion. Padres on top, 3-1 here in the 8th. Looking for more. And another close pitch. This one goes Renfroe's way. Ball and 2 strikes. Scott Alexander, left-hander, up in the bullpen. He would be number 7 used by the Dodgers tonight. You will see spring training games in which fewer than 7 pitchers are used. Golfed that one, and Turner makes the catch, 1 away.
Catcher number 27, Francisco Mejia.
Francisco Mejia 0 for 2 with a walk. It was a 10-pitch walk against the starter Ross Stripling back in the 4th inning.
Well, Jesse, in these situations, he's so aggressive. Looks for that first pitch no matter what. Likes to fire on it.
Got the first pitch on the grand slam against the Rangers last Sunday. As he said, goes after it here, 0-1. Jankowski at third, Hosmer at first. And he yanks that one into the netting above the Padre dugout on the first base side. He's in the hole 0-2.
Well, when he's up, heads up in the first base dugout. Saw it at home in the home series. I wouldn't even put my head over that dugout. There's no way.
He almost got Spangenberg last weekend against Texas.
Scary.
Floro in front of him, no balls, 2 strikes. And he strikes him out. Padres have runners on the corners, nobody out. They are still at the corners with 2 away. And with the left-handed hitting Spangenberg due up, looks like Dave Roberts will indeed go to lucky number 7. He's calling for the left-hander Alexander. He'll make the change here, trying to prevent the Padres from adding any further cushion in the top of the 8th. Floro done. Alexander enters stage left. Lefty with Corey Spangenberg due up. Padres with runners on the corners. And a couple of outs, up by a couple of runs.
So you say you love September baseball. Well, here we go. Left-right matchup, and it seems like it's almost every hitter. 68th game for Scott Alexander. And very good success against left-handed hitters.
Corey getting the start at second base tonight. He's officially 0 for 2. Reached on an error, walked, and grounded to second base. 7 runs batted in these kinds of situations this year. He's got Jankowski at third base and Hosmer at first.
You would think that breaking ball would come into play against Corey Spangenberg. So if you're Travis Jankowski, you have to be on your toes, especially with a wild pitch.
He's as fast as they come. Spangenberg goes after the first pitch and grounds it foul. We talked earlier about the 4th inning maybe being a thing the Padres would look back on and say, if only. After the homer by Renfroe, the back-to-back walks, they had Guys on first and second, one away, didn't add on, and now here in the 8th inning, up by 2. But runners on the corners, nobody out. So you'd love to see him cash in.
Yeah, and you look at the at bat. It has everything to do with Hunter Renfroe, the cleanup hitter, not coming through in that situation.
Hosmer runs, and they will let him take the base. And again, the speedy Jankowski at third. Calculated decision there to let Hosmer pick up what'll be his 7th stolen base of the year. Now, of course, a base hit would do big damage. Alexander trying to play fireman. That one scoots away, but not far enough for Jankowski to try. Rondell Catlin. An insurance run 90 feet away. Jankowski looking to score his first run as a dad. Congratulations to the Jankowskis. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts by Floro and Alexander, of Mejia and Spangenberg. 2 men left. With a 2-run lead.
Setup man that absolutely loves pitching here at Dodger Stadium. The 70th appearance for Craig Stammen. He has a career ERA of .73 here at Dodger Stadium. It's the lowest of any ballpark he has pitched in.
Good nugget. Andre Bullpen has been outstanding. 70th appearance of the year for the veteran right-hander. Jankowski, who pinch ran, stays in the game to play right field for Franmil Reyes. First one to Machado, right on the outside corner, 0-1. Dodgers shortstop 0 for 3 in this ball game, and only 2 career appearances as a career American leaguer against Stammen. These guys are sort of like natural rivals. The longtime Oriole, the longtime National.
Crosstown.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing like San Diego and Seattle.
Exactly.
On the ground to Galvis. Nice big hop. And one shortstop throws out the other. One away in the bottom of the 8th.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Pinch hitter for Scott Alexander will be Jock Peterson. The power has returned. Only 11 home runs a year ago after he had hit 25 and 26 the previous 2 seasons. Back to being his old self, at least in that department. Stammen's first one is a good one. 0-1. Peterson homered against a left-handed pitcher for the first time this season on Monday against the Rockies. And for whatever reason, he's hit about 70 points higher this year away from Dodger Stadium than he has here in LA. Now the 1-2 to Peterson, and well struck into the right center field gap. That'll be extra bases. Jock's on his way to second base. He will stop there with a 1-out double. Ty Long coming to the plate.
Well, not the location that Craig Stammen wanted, especially with 2 strikes. He's been pinpoint tonight. You can see with this breaking ball just left over the middle of the plate. Credit Peterson doing a nice job with 2 strikes, shortening up and shooting that gap on that breaking ball.
Kemp has singled 4 times in 11 trips against Craig Stammen. Trying to single there and behind 0-1.
I wonder how much Matt Kemp is in rhythm, especially after getting so many starts in that first half. Arguably the comeback player of the year in baseball.
Stammen now in front, no balls and 2 strikes. Peterson with a pinch hit double. Oh, 2 to Kemp. Close, but no. And now a ball and 2 strikes. Again, Padres, I think, being very careful with a runner on second base as the young catcher Mejia goes through the signs and the setup for Craig Stammen. Got him.
Well, after that pinch hit double, Craig Stammen had to go to work against Matt Kemp, an 89-mile-an-hour two-seamer. And then had two mistakes that just got into the 0-2 count. Now he can start nibbling around the strike zone and expose Matt Kemp out of the strike zone. Good pitching by Craig Stammen, especially after that pinch hit double by Peterson.
There is really no moment to breathe for a pitcher against this lineup. Peterson studying the catcher Mejia like he's getting ready for the SATs. First one to Puig, taken, and a strike.
Yeah, most times if you're on second base out there, you're trying to take a look at that sequencing. Maybe something you can use later in the series if you're not using it tonight. Peterson really eyeing that sequence of Mejia. Multiple signs with a runner on at second base.
Puig muscles that one into left field. It'll get down, should get a run home. Peterson rounding third, Renfroe's throw up the line. It's a one-run game.
Saw the numbers against Craig Stammen for Yasiel Puig. 2 for 4 coming into this at bat. A good pitch by Craig Stammen, but as you said, Jesse, muscling it to left field is Yasiel Puig. That got in on him. He dumps it into left for a big RBI to get this building a little more excited.
Puig get the big home run on Wednesday against Colorado. Touchdown. One-run game. Grandal at the plate. He'll hit left-handed for the first time tonight. Another decent bat in the on-deck circle off the bench. This is and has always been the better power side for Grandal. Got to be aware of that. 23 home runs this year, 20 as a left-handed hitter, but no success whatsoever against Stammen. With Grandal batting left-handed, Padres shift.
Jesse, with that shift, Eric Hosmer at first base will stay on the line. Try not to get off that too much because you have to guard in case of the ball down the line. It makes it difficult in a shift situation here.
Puig, by the way, does lead the Dodgers with 15 stolen bases. Not running, and now 3-0. But does not get the call, and now the tying run in scoring position for the Dodgers. Andy Green was waiting for Cody Bellinger to be introduced as the pinch hitter for Brian Dozier. He was. And he'll go out and make a double switch.
For 72, Castro.
Looks like Austin Hedges is going to come in and catch. Padres clinging to a 1-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It has been dramatic at Dodger Stadium. He is responsible for Puig at second, the pinch runner Tim Locastro at first base. Cody Bellinger has been introduced as the pinch hitter, and Andy Green, as part of a double switch, goes to his closer. Kirby Yates going to ask him to get 4 outs here against the Dodgers.
Yeah, 9 for 10 in save opportunities, and none bigger than this situation, trying to get out of the 8th for his good friend Craig Stammen.
As part of the double switch, Hedges comes in to catch. He'll bat in the number 9 position, due up third in the top of the 9th inning. Pinch hit double by Jock Peterson, RBI single by Yasiel Puig, and then the walk to Grandal. Mentioned Locastro running for him. And Bellinger to face Kirby Yates.
Kirby Yates has had good success against Bellinger. Only 3 at bats, but 2 of those have been punch out. For Bellinger, it has a lot to do with having to elevate the fastball over that looped swing. He also has that split finger out of the strike zone that he will chase.
Obviously, a very dangerous hitter. You mentioned the 9 saves for Kirby Yates. None of them have been of the 4-out variety. So a new challenge tonight for the Padre closer. Splitter to start, and 1-0. Bellinger with a big swing and a miss. Probably fair to remember, top of the inning, Padres had runners on the corners, nobody out, did not score. Dodgers have gotten 1 here in the 8th, and Yates trying to keep it right there. Dave Roberts has used many of his available pieces tonight. will go to an 8th pitcher of the evening in the 9th inning.
Bellinger's looking to see what he wants to attack in this situation. He's seen a couple fastballs and they've both been elevated.
Here's the 2-1 in the dirt. Nice stop, Hedges.
When you think about that scenario, not only is the tying run on second base, but the winning run is on first. Perfect block by Austin Hedges.
Puig with the RBI single to get the Dodgers to within a run. He's at second base. Bellinger swings and misses, strike 2.
Biggest pitch of the ball game here. I think Kirby Yates has full trust in being able to go to that split finger.
Runners will have a head start. Payoff pitch to Bellinger is swung on and missed. He got the fastball past him, and Kirby Yates all fired up. He's got one. He needs 3 more outs to pick up his first 4-out save of the season. Work to be done, but the Padres with the lead going to the 9th at Dodger Stadium. Some ball game at Dodger Stadium tonight. Padres holding a 3-2 lead as we go to the 9th inning. How about Kirby Yates coming out of the bullpen and striking out Cody Bellinger to end the 8th?
Yeah, gets into a situation where it's a 3-1 count, throws a split finger, and then pipes a fastball by Bellinger for the huge out.
That's a great shot because he got Austin Hedges due up 3rd in the inning. But what's he worried about? He's worried about Kirby Yates, who's going to be trying to pick up the 4-out save by facing, let's see, Muncy, Hernandez, and Turner in the bottom of the 9th inning. Padres will try and add on against John Axford, another deadline acquisition by the Dodgers. Came over from Toronto at the end of July. Galvis to lead off. He takes the curve low. Margot and Hedges, as mentioned, to follow. Boy, if that isn't life as a catcher summed up in one image.
Yeah, priority number one, catching first, and that's always been Austin Hedges' MO.
Axford has been all over the place. Made his big league debut as a Brewer in 2009. He's also pitched with St. Louis, Cleveland, the Pirates, the Rockies, the A's, and as mentioned, Toronto. Still brings the heat, and now 1-2 on Freddie Galvis. So we've got changes. Jock Peterson stays in the game to play left field. Cody Bellinger stays in the game to play center. Kike Hernandez moves to second, and Austin Barnes comes in to catch. That one is snagged by Hernandez. Throws high, and it will stay in play. That's a tough break for the Padres. Galvis will, of course, be safe at first base, although Muncie's going to tag him just to see if he made a turn. I don't believe that he did. He did not. And as mentioned, Kike just going from center field to second base.
Well, versatility. You see Hernandez going to his right, makes a nice diving stop, but Barnes got actually lucky in this scenario. Barnes stayed at that catching position, did not back up the play until late. Unfortunate for the Dodgers, that rattles off and stays in the field of play.
So an infield single and the leadoff man aboard. Padres would love to add 1 or 2 or 10 here in the ninth. Fastball to Margot, a strike.
You got to find a way to separate yourself. They failed in a situation in the top half of the 8th inning.
Manuel trying to dent the hit column, and that's a slow tapper foul at third. Axford has spent some time on the DL, just activated this past week, and another roller to third base. That'll be a productive out. No, it won't. It'll be a base hit. Margot beats out the roller to third, and the Padres have 2 aboard again with nobody out.
Well, this was a bang-bang play. You wonder if they take a look at this one, but for Manuel Margot getting down the line. Yeah, and I think he is safe. That's a really good call.
Certainly hits the bag before the ball.
That right heel looked like it got down on that bag. It's a nice play by Turner, but a better situation for the Padres.
So like last inning, 2 on and nobody out. Will there be a different result? Hedges, of course, came in as part of the double switch in the bottom of the last inning. Now he bats for the first time. Last time we were at Dodger Stadium, Hedges was hitting a dramatic 9th inning home run against Kenley Jansen. Then the power went out. Normal. Did not offer, and now in front, a ball and no strikes. Hedges also homered on Monday against the Giants. He started 2 out of the 3 games against San Francisco. Back-to-back infield singles from Galvis and Margot. Galvis, the lead runner. Margot behind him. He got speed as the trailer, and that is right to Turner. He bobbles it, and everybody's going to be safe. Got to figure he's thinking about turning the double play, and he left the ball behind. Base is loaded, nobody out.
You know what, Jesse? Back-to-back mistakes on Turner. Gave an opportunity for Manuel Margot to beat out that infield single, but here, trying to make that play, the double play, without the ball. And this is a big error. And hopefully the Padres can capitalize. Bases loaded.
Second error of the night on Turner. And a big spot for Will Myers. LA brings the infield in.
Well, Will's got to be guessing in that scenario. Takes that first pitch curveball for a strike and then takes the fastball for a strike. Guessing the opposite in both situations.
Last inning and runners on the corners, nobody out, failed to score. Now the base is loaded and nobody out in a one-run game. And Myers sends that one to deep right field. Puig is still going back, and it's off the wall. Galvis comes in to score easily. Margot is being waved. He will score. A two-run double from Will Myers. And the Padres do add on in the ninth. Now 5-2 San Diego.
Jesse, what an adjustment Will Myers made in at bat. 0-2 count, and he gets the mistake. The fastball elevated. And what he does best is goes the other way. What a perfect scenario and a huge hit for the Padres. Yasiel Puig had no idea what to do with that ball, but that's hit over his head.
That'll be the night for John Axford. You want the lefty or the righty? How about both? Venditti coming in, 5-2 Padres. In the count against John Axford, and like you said, great adjustment and a great swing.
It sure was, and obviously 0-2 count, a mistake by Axford, but Will Myers in a perfect scenario.
Now the switch pitcher. Pat Venditti comes in, and so he will declare himself a southpaw for the moment at least to face Travis Jankowski. Dodgers will keep the infield in. With runners on second and third, still nobody away. Padres finally stringing together a few, got some luck. There was an error, a couple of infield singles, but Myers with the big swing. Travis came into the game as a pinch runner for Reyes in the 8th. This is his first turn at bat. And a ground ball right back to Venditti. He's got that special glove, and he makes a nice play with it, one away. Obviously uses the same glove, whether it's on his left hand or his right hand.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Going against the left-handers, he drops down as you take a look at that glove. Webbing on both sides.
It's one of the most remarkable things
it sure is
I have ever seen in sports. So now one away for Hosmer, and Venditti will remain a left-handed pitcher. Waits on it and pops it up. Machado will make the catch. And now 2 down in the top of the 9th inning. Let's revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego County Honda dealers.
Well, the Dodgers been on a hot stretch, but coming off an emotional series sweep against the Colorado Rockies. Try to catch them. A tough situation. Eric Lauer, I thought he met that challenge. 5 innings of work. Obviously the big strikeout for the last out against Manny Machado.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Lauer because he hasn't been in this game for 3 or 4 hours,
Yeah,
I think.
Seems like he pitched yesterday.
That was a big part of what's taking place here tonight. Renfroe has been intentionally walked, and that'll force Andy Green to come up with a pinch hitter, or to send Kirby Yates out to bat. And it looks like Kirby is going to grab some lumber. So Kirby Yates out there looking for the first 4-out save of his career. He'll have an opportunity to do something he has not had very many opportunities to do. He is 0 for 1 in his major league career. Had an at bat earlier this season. That's it.
You know what's interesting, Jesse? They're waiting on Kirby Yates, and Venditti threw a couple pitches right-handed and realized that Kirby was a left-handed hitter, and he flipped to the lefty. Don't try this at home, anybody.
Nope. Only a bat came in Milwaukee back on August 9th. Pretty decent looking swing, and Machado perhaps the only thing there to save the Dodgers, and he does. Kirby full sprint, falling over the bag, unable to beat it out. Trying to find himself his first major league hit. Andy Green will wait on replay. And also give Yates an opportunity to catch his breath. How many shortstops in baseball are able to make this play?
Wow.
That is a moment for the 2018 season. Helmetless Kirby Yates digging for first. Now we'll try and get 3 more outs. closer looking for a save with a completely dirty uniform, but that's what we're doing right now as Kirby Yates trying to beat out what would have been an RBI infield hit in the top of the 9th inning.
Oh,
what effort! What hustle! He knew he had his potential first major league hit and an RBI in sight.
First off, that swing was impressive off of Venditti. Left on left. The priority #1, going back and getting the last 3 outs. If you go back to that hit of Will Myers with the bases loaded, coming through, that's the big hit in the separator.
Another aspect of that is I don't know that there's another shortstop in baseball who makes that play other than Manny Machado.
The arm strength and the ability to go in that hole, make that strong throw to get Yates.
Now Max Muncy, who pinch hit in the 7th inning and struck out. Stayed in the game to play first base. Now there is obviously an aspect of this that'll be interesting. Has Kirby caught his breath?
That's why I go back to Will Myers' double, because it's a separator and it gives Kirby Yates that ability. Think about a 1-run lead in a scenario like this.
Perfectly placed, and 1-1. Yates struck out Bellinger in a big spot to end the 8th. Now a clean start in the 9th. Muncy in the air, straightaway center, not deep. And 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Carl's Jr., star of the game, starting pitcher Eric Lauer. He last appeared about 4.5 hours ago, but hey, 5 innings, a run on 4 hits.
Loved his work, had that calmness that we talked about, also the improved slider, and the big strikeout of Manny Machado. The finisher, arm side fastball for the big out. Nice performance by Eric Lauer.
Yeah, struck out Machado to end the 5th with runners on 1st and 2nd. Andy Green had just come out to talk to him, and he got it done. Here is Alex Verdugo. He's hitting for Kike Hernandez. Quickly behind, 0-2. So we know the Dodgers have used 9 pitchers tonight, including the starter Stripling. Now 6 men have come off the bench. They've got 5 more available if they want them.
It's crazy. The love of September baseball.
Oh, 2 to Verdugo. Lays off the fastball. Verdugo up as a September call-up. This is his 3rd stint of the season. He started all 3 games that these 2 teams played down in Monterrey, Mexico. And a ground ball through Yates into center field, a base hit. Pinch single for Verdugo.
Third baseman, number 10, Justin Turner.
That looks silly on the split finger earlier in the bat, and he gets one that's elevated right through the middle and past Kirby Yates.
Turner with Machado on deck. Neither team is grounded into a double play tonight. Second straight time up. Turner nearly hit by a pitch. 1-1.
Well, this is close, and you think about the Dodgers in their season, how much it changed. That's a pitch that hit Justin Turner during spring training by Kendall Graveman.
I have no idea how that one didn't hit him. The eyes of the baseball world are on Kirby Yates right now. There ain't nothing else going on in Major League Baseball right now. Everything is final, including, of course, the Rockies beating the Diamondbacks 6-2. Colorado has picked up a half game on the Dodgers. And if Yates can close this thing out, it gets a little tighter in the West. Off the handle, popped up. Hosmer and Hedges both coming. First baseman takes control, makes the catch, 2 away.
Shortstop, number 8, Manny Machado.
Kirby Yates has gotten 3 outs. He needs 1 more. Former AL East foes, Machado in Baltimore, Yates with Tampa. Kirby is not the pitcher he was as a Red. Runner goes, they'll let him have it. And now Yates and Hedges will get together. Got to talk about signs and whatnot with enemy eyes at second base again. Padres only have 2 mound visits remaining.
Uh-oh.
Oh, 0-1 to Machado, and that's on the outside corner. Strike 2.
Man, Kirby's fastball had been excellent tonight. That fastball to Bellinger that finished the 8th inning. Fastball to Turner on the inside part of the plate, and that last one to Machado.
Now the 0-2 pitch, and he just got a piece to stay alive. See Hedges encouraging Yates. He likes it.
He was asking for it down and even in the dirt.
The closer does not often lead the team in dirty uniforms, but tonight, Kirby's in the lead. And now 1 strike away from his first career 4-out save. Another 0-2 to Machado, and another nice play by Austin Hedges. Verdugo at second. Tying run for the moment in the on-deck circle. And Yates against Machado, trying to leave him there. Yates trying to finish what Lauer started. Castillo, Strom, Stock, and Stammen have all done their part. Padres looking to win at Dodger Stadium for the second time this year. Here's the 1-2, and fouled back at the point. Anything you'd like to say to any of the Rockies? They're probably watching right now.
Well, they took care of business tonight. That's the priority, especially after getting swept here at Dodger Stadium. Can't feel good, but then you go to another important series.
Good battle here. Machado with a hard hit grounder up the middle. That'll be a base hit. We're not done yet. Verdugo comes in to score. This is a 2-run game. Well, he tied Machado up in knots earlier in the night. This time he comes through.
I couldn't finish him, and he beat him to the spot on the fastball. Can't blame Kirby Yates to go with the fastball because that's been his best pitch. It's the mislocation on the inside part of the plate. Machado beats him in this scenario.
So Machado at first base. And Jock Peterson will hit for the second time. Pinch hit double in the 8th, stayed into play left field. Runner goes, and a little bit outside with the fastball. Chase Utley has stepped into the on-deck circle with the pitcher's spot due next. Sorry, with Matt Kemp due next. Game is nearly 4 hours old and not done yet. 1-1.
A big swing by Peterson. You see it on the split finger. Good location, but he was looking for that fastball, selling out on the heater.
Machado just took third base. Peterson with a big swing and a miss, and again Kirby Yates 1 strike away.
Well, the looks of those last 2 swings, you would think he would throw a split finger. Has options, especially with the count.
Will Myers' 2-run double in the top of this inning, absolutely huge right now. The 1-2, he got him. Kirby Yates with a 4-out save, and the Padres beat the Dodgers 5-3. This was some kind of ball game.
Well, you waited so long, and for Kirby Yates to have back-to-back-to-back split fingers to Jock Peterson, putting this game away, and now start taking a look at the standings. It gets interesting.
Yes, it does. The Rockies pick up a game. They beat the D-backs. Padres beat the Dodgers, and only 1.5 games now separate first and second in the NL West. Final score, Padres 5 and the Dodgers 3. Padres Live next with Mike Pomerantz. What have you got?
Need the monitor.